telecast presented by T-Mobile. And the fans are out here. It's a little bit warmer of a day. Junior, you had mentioned down on the grid it was warm. How will that affect these drivers?
Well, I don't think there's any place in the series that you're working harder than at road courses, and this will be a new one, so they'll be working even harder trying to stay on this blacktop, and the cars are going to be hot inside. I think 130 to 150 degrees inside those cars with the brake temp and everything coming through that firewall.
Well, the fans, really a perfect day for racing here at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, and they're ready for a great Cup Series race in front of them. Let's get things underway with pre-race ceremonies.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, on this Independence Day weekend, please rise and remove your hats as we honor America. Presenting our nation's colors, the Town of Sheboygan Honor Guard and Army National Guard Retention and Recruiting Battalion of Plymouth. Please remain standing for our invocation by Father Dale Gruba.
Let us pray. God our Father, on this 4th of July, we remember how blessed we are. We are grateful for all who have sacrificed and gave their lives so we could live the freedoms that we enjoy. Bless those in public office and guide their decisions. Protect those serving in the military and first responders. And we pray for ourselves. May we live with the same faith, courage, and convictions as those who founded and fought for our country. God our Father, keep us in the palm of your hand as we go about our way. Amen.
And here to perform our national anthem from Racine, Wisconsin, 12-year-old Liamane Segura.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rattled there, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let's sing.
Happy 245th birthday to our great country. When we come back, the drivers will be strapped in and we'll fire the engines. First race at Road America in 65 years.
It's out in a lot of different ways.
On July 4th is a great way to not only be at a racetrack, but to celebrate all the freedoms and things that we have in our lives.
Memories come to everybody's mind when you say 4th of July and what it stands for.
That is a special day for me and my entire family.
All my memories of 4th of July are spent at the racetrack.
Woo! America, 1776, we are the champs.
Automobile racing and America go hand in hand.
Oh, just a great weekend to spend time with family if I'm not at the racetrack.
Nothing's better than motorsports on the 4th of July.
He takes the checkered flag.
Wow! A thoroughly dominant afternoon.
That was awesome. Great job, man.
He got it. Oh, yeah.
Racing has been a great sport for a long time, and celebrating Independence Day and doing it on a race weekend is going to be a lot of fun.
making memories at a racetrack. And what better place than Road America? You see a lot of the fans here. Take a look at this. What is she going to say? Well, of course she's going to say yes. A proposal right there on the 4th of July. There's another memory made. Where were you when that engagement took place? We were at Road America watching the first Cup race in 65 years. And the ring goes on. Congratulations to that young couple. Yeah, we got you on the big screen. Let's go to Parker.
Well, Rick, Tyler Reddick a year ago would have told you that road courses were his worst track type. He just couldn't get the feel for them. But then this all season, he dedicated himself to getting better. He spent 16 hours per week using iRacing, a Chevy simulator, and going to the race team and asking them, how can I be better? Well, guess what? With a pole at COTA, a top 10, it started to pay off. He's starting 4th here today, and he genuinely believes, Dave, this is his best shot at victory lane.
Parker, starting right in front of him is a veteran of road course racing, A.J. Allmendinger. But this team, Colleague Racing, is relatively new to Cup Series racing, and so they are going to work together today to use AJ's experience and their enthusiasm to get to victory lane. Marty.
Dave, you could argue Kyle Larson is the new king of the road in NASCAR, 2nd at COTA, and he won last time out at the road course. Today he told me, I'm still learning about this track, but hopefully by the end of it I know enough that I can compete for the win. Just keep it on the track until those final few laps. Time to crank the engines in Wisconsin.
And now, Road America race fans, it's time for the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome our Grand Marshal, Franklin, Wisconsin native, and NASCAR Xfinity Series driver, Sam Mayer.
Happy 4th of July, everybody. May God bless America. On behalf of Jockey Made in America, driver, start your engine!
Great job, Sam. He actually won the Trans Am race here yesterday. And so now the engines are fired on the Cup Series. We're about to go racing. T-Mobile, the leader in 5G, America's largest, fastest, and now most reliable 5G network. Sonic, this is how we Sonic. Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Visit GoCreditOne.com. And by Toyota.
4th of July, star-spangled night. I see this country like the free bird sees the sky. Where there's a highway, I will ride.
Racing on the 4th of July. You're watching the Jockey Made in America 250. Road America. Time now for today's starting grid, brought to you by T-Mobile. It is a Hendrick Motorsports front row with William Byron and Kyle Larson, the 23-year-old and 28-year-old, starting up front.
If you're looking for a favorite, look no further than row 2, A.J. Allmendinger. A win here in Xfinity and in kart, looking for the trifecta, trying to add Cup. And I wouldn't rule out Cedric starting right behind him in row 3, another road course ace, running Cup Limited this year.
And Steve, I think Alex Bowman has showed such promise on these road courses as well. He's another driver right next to Martin Truex Jr. that could be a favorite.
Yeah, I look at Christopher Bell in row 7. Norman, Oklahoma. He won the Daytona Road Course, another track we didn't see a lot of racing at. He's looked good all weekend long. Michael McDowell back there in 9th. Daytona 500 winner. Could he win 2 in the same year? It would be a career year for Michael.
We've seen Ryan Blaney also win at a road course, that High Point, North Carolina native, looking very strong, as well as, how about Brad Keselowski? He's already had a pirouette here during practice, but there's still the possibility of him getting to the front row.
Yeah, you see in row 11, Justin Haley will go to the back. They had to change engines after practice and qualifying. Kevin Harvick back in row 13. He's a 2-time road course winner, but it has been quite some time. Actually took part in the Xfinity Series race yesterday.
And as we go back to the final rows, look back here, Kyle Busch. Yes, he had to go to a backup car, didn't go out in qualifying. He will start at the rear of the field.
But no one in the field has won a road course race after not starting in the top 20, except for Kyle Busch. So I don't care where he's starting, he still has to be a favorite.
All right, drivers, a great perspective of this 4-mile track. We were able to have the Copter do a lap around Road America. Take us through it.
Well, we've been here a while. This racetrack is so difficult. Number one, look at how narrow it is. long front straightaway, the longest front stretch in all of NASCAR, going to a 90-degree heavy braking corner. You're going to have to fly through here. It's a place to pass, and it's also a place to protect from being passed. That leads to another short straightaway, and guess what, Junior? Another braking zone in turns 2 and 3 with another opportunity for passing.
Yeah, but an important corner to get out of successfully because it leads onto this long straightaway. There's a turn here somewhere, turn 4 right there. And then you keep on going onto this braking zone down here in turn 5. This is the toughest braking zone. It's downhill. You're going super fast, hard, left-hand 90-degree, up the hill to turn 6.
And turn 6 is a blind corner. You cannot see it till you get there. And again, another sharp corner leads to another straightaway and a sharp corner. Then guess what? Another long stretch with a 90-degree left-hand turn. Guess what? Passing opportunity. 9 and 10 to Carousel Junior, lasts forever.
Yeah, it's really slick through here, wearing out that left rear tire, killing the drive off of the car onto this little straightaway here that leads to a very tricky part of the course. It's called the Kink. Turn 11, it's claimed a few cars already this weekend. I think there'll be a lot of action here, a lot of mistakes. Guys getting off the track, and when they get off the track, look, there's nowhere to go. You're going to bounce into one wall or the other and block the track for the oncoming traffic.
Then you've got Canada Corner. A very difficult corner. Look at all the black marks on corner entry. That's a very difficult braking area. Then that leads to another straight with some, this is the most, I think, pretty technical part of the racetrack. And it leads all the way down to turn 14. And turn 14 is the last corner that leads to that exceptionally long straight with a huge climb uphill.
Guys, great explanation. I'm looking forward to putting 40 cars out there and seeing what they're able to do. Well, Busch Beer is celebrating July 4th by giving away $444 whenever Harvick's number 4 car is driving a lap with the number 4 in it. So tweet hashtag Busch Light Apple and hashtag sweepstakes for your chance to win. Cars rolling around this 4-mile course, and crowd getting ready for some exciting racing from Road America.
Chase Elliott riding along with him with the Xfinity cam on this front bumper. Unfortunately for Chase, you'll see a lot of cars in front of him right now. He'll be in the middle of the action, though, coming from the back.
We got a couple of cameras mounted on the 22 car for Joe Logano. The Coca-Cola camera, that foot camera, we'll be able to see. Does he heel and toe? What do you think? I don't know if Joey knows how to heel and toe. We'll be finding out in this race, and he has a reverse driver camera as well, so we can look back at Joey wearing his glasses, steering on that car.
And Austin Cindric, number 33 car, Ford Performance Cam. See, Austin Cindric has a little bit different shifter than what we just saw. Kevin Harvick's car. Be fun watching this road course ace try to get a win today.
Before the green flag comes out, let's get a few more stories from pit road. We'll start with Parker.
Well, Rick, we just saw that cool onboard camera from Joe Logano, and he, in the last 4 road course races, has finished no worse than 4th. But today, that might be a tough thing to pull off. He told me after practice and in just qualifying, he has not quite found the trick around here, the speed around here. They just feel like on this 22 car, they don't have the usual speed they have here at road courses. So he's going to be using these early laps especially to try and find some of those areas that he's lacking so he can make up that speed deficit, Dave.
Jeff mentioned the Chase Elliott being able to see all the cars. Well, he starts 34th, did not have a good qualifying run, has not been able to find his rhythm according to the driver. And remember, half of his 12 victories as a Cup Series driver have been on the road courses. That's why he was predicted as the favorite. And it's a surprise that he's starting as far back as he is, Marty.
Dave, even further back is Kyle Busch. All day long, we're going to hear about the value of brand new Goodyear tires, and no one has a better situation to start the race than Kyle Busch, who starts 40th this afternoon. Why? Because they knew they had to go to a backup car today, and no matter what, they had to start at the back of the field. So because of that, they just rolled around during qualifying, did not put a hard lap on that set of tires. So in essence, Kyle Busch will start this race with 6 brand new sets of tires. That will be a massive advantage. We'll see how quickly he can get through the field, Jack.
Marty, this is one of the great locations at the track up here on the party deck. We have located the go-to Wisconsin fan fuel. It is the bratwurst, cooked up in a big old pot of nothing but butter and beer, and I got to take a bite of this thing. I love my job. You care if I get in there one time, man? You got, it's the double.
It's a double brat.
This is the double brat. It's a go-to staple here at the track. Here I go.
He attacked those brats. The double brat from Jack. All right, we're going to keep him eating all afternoon long, and you can enjoy the race with the fans. Right now he's up on the party deck. There's so many places. Again, 100,000 plus have been here this weekend to enjoy racing. What a great situation it is for the fans to come here to Wisconsin and really take in history.
It's an amazing location. I've seen a lot of races from here, but never been able to experience it in person. And I'm going to tell you, this is a racing town. Jeff, you said it in the pre-race. Everywhere we go, at and away from the racetrack, they are excited NASCAR's in town.
That's tons of energy. So fun to see.
So again, Hendrick Motorsports making up row number 1. William Byron won the pole earlier. Kyle Larson, second fastest. They come up the hill, and then they've still got about 200 yards until they get to the start-finish line. But the field 2x2. It's been 65 years since the Cup Series has raced at Road America. But they're back, and they're under green. Look how quickly A.J. Allmendinger is throwing his name into the hat here as he works to the inside of Kyle Larson in that 16, and now challenging for the lead as they go down the straight into turn 5.
So, sharp left-hander they're approaching, so William Byron has the preferred lane.
Most of these guys are running on this racetrack with other cars for the first time. You know, they had a little bit of practice, qualifying. Everybody pretty much staying away from each other. So racing this track by yourself versus having a bunch of traffic, it's two different things. Got to really be aware of what corner you're coming up on to, especially going into kink corners like that. Can't be distracted by the traffic around you.
Larson with a big run on the outside, trying to pinch his teammate, not let him open the steering wheel up. Wasn't able to do it.
Now before they get to the carousel. So now William Byron out front. Larson running that second spot. A.J. Allmendinger is third. Tyler Reddick in fourth, and Austin Cindric in fifth.
Big question mark for A.J. as they go through the kink for the first time. What is that equipment that he's driving like? Can he withstand the work he's going to put it through? He didn't get through the kink very well. He's getting a challenge for position here on the outside with Reddick. We know he's got pace by himself. We know he's got pace early on, but will that car withstand the wear and tear of the entire race?
I think also you have to be a little bit mindful of how hard you push right now. Obviously, you want to get the track position and keep it, but you could really hurt these tires early in this run. Dave, what do you have on A.J.?
How about the wear and tear that may be on the driver? We'll see Larson trying to get a draft here. But yesterday he ran 180 miles here in an Xfinity Series car and just recently radioed this to his team.
I may, Brett, just kind of relay to him. I may ask, possibly, depending how hot it gets. The helmet blower already fell off my helmet, so I may just ask for water on pit stops, but I'll let you know. All right, 10-4, they need water. Copy that.
The ambient temperature right now, 88 degrees at Road America. It is hot here. That helmet hose has fallen off Marty. He's going to have to watch it today as he works this Road America course hard.
And Dave, you have to wonder about that for all the drivers who ran the Xfinity Series race yesterday and the Cup Series race today, like Austin Cindric, who many think has a legitimate shot to win this Cup Series race here this afternoon. I asked him, how's the car? He said, you tell me. My Saturday was a blur. I totally mismanaged my schedule. I had no idea. I only had 10 minutes between Cup practice and the Xfinity Series race. So all I had to eat yesterday was a single apple, but I feel like we have a legitimate shot. And his good buddy Chase Briscoe has been telling him all week, you're going to win this race. Could Austin Cindric pull off the upset today, Rick?
Well, that's what he wants. He wants to be able to shock the Cup Series. Guys, I tell you, already we're seeing the strategy of these drivers trying to figure out where the passing zones are.
Well, I want to make a comment first on the heat and the helmet hose with A.J. Allmendinger. That's a serious situation. If there's no way for him to find that under caution and reattach it, figure out a way to keep it on there. Typically, a lot of times I've been in different cars with different interior guys. Some of them will tape that helmet hose to the helmet. Some of them don't do anything at all, and that's when it can come off. So he's going to need to try to figure out a way to get that back on there, if not have the pit crew help him under a pit stop, because that will be an awful experience to go without any air moving around in that helmet throughout the entire race.
Ironically enough, when we were on the grid, we were asking him about how hot these cars are, and he said that Xfinity car yesterday was exceptionally hot. So to Marty's point, that took something out of him. He wears that cool vest, and he says helps a lot, but that is not the same as having filtered air, cool air going into your helmet that you can breathe. That is not the same thing. So can he deal with that this entire race?
I know in some situation with some teams, they allow the driver to choose. You get the vest or you get the helmet. Now, we could put a fan in that helmet, but cool air, you're only going to get it on the vest or you're only going to get it on the helmet, because they'd only want to give the drivers only a few amps. They need that, they need that power from the alternator and everything else to do so many other things to this race car, particularly, Steve, at a road course.
Yeah, I mean, you're using so much power for brake fans to cool the transmission, to cool the gear. So I know you're important, but you want brakes and you want it to shift. So I got to divvy that power up. So like you said, you got to kind of choose a little bit. Got to remember this 16 car, not a full-time team. So you ask yourself, was there some miscommunication on whatever AJ needed? Let's take a look back in the news all week long. The 99 of Trackhouse purchasing Chip Ganassi Racing. Well, here's Daniel Suarez and that Good Sam. Oh man, red and white car. That's climbing the hill from 5 to 6, kind of a blind corner. And you definitely don't want to enter it in. But you see how easy it was. Joey Logano was in the dirt behind him.
It looked like Martin Truex Jr. gave him a little
we got an issue.
Yeah, maybe a flat tire for the 99. So a situation for Daniel Suarez early as he's trying to climb the hill to turn 6.
I think the tires are up. There seems to be some kind of a failure in the drive line of this car.
I agree, Dale. I think
it's not going to come out if it's the same thing.
No, it's not going to come out if it's the same thing. So it sounds like it's some sort of issue that they have seen either on their car or their team cars this weekend.
Broke transmission, maybe.
So he goes inside the 11 to Denny Hamlin, carrying a tremendous amount of speed, takes the left-hander, and then he just doesn't accelerate.
This reminds me a lot of what we saw from Bubba Wallace in qualifying. Entering a corner, downshifting, and losing the drive or either getting stuck in transmission.
Well, this 99 had transmission issues at COTA. So you ask yourself, is this another issue?
He's asking him just to push him.
Push him. Push him, Frankie. Let NASCAR know.
He's like, go, go,
He's
go.
trying to tell him.
He's like,
hurry up.
He wants to push, but
this isn't the pushing truck. We got to get the pushing truck here. This isn't it.
That's frustrating for a driver. You're like trying to communicate. Limited communication at this point with AMR, and he's wanting to get back to his pits, not lose any time, laps or anything, get this thing tuned up and fixed, and try to get back out there racing.
Ready. The guys are getting everything ready.
That F-150's got a bumper on it. Push it, he says.
Daniel Suarez, 3 top 10s already this season. Daniel, the first foreign-born driver to win a championship. He won the Xfinity Series championship back in 2016.
And this is an unfortunate break for the 99, but this will not be the end of mechanical issues, I feel, Junior. This is just a tough place on equipment.
Yeah, this thing, they're already determined to take it behind the wall and get it fixed. So frustrating day already for this team.
So Suarez is going to get pushed back. It's NASCAR Cup Series from Road America. Telecast presented by T-Mobile. 4-mile racetrack road course as they're pushing the 99 back in toward the garage. Great coverage from Geico giving us that vantage point. And let's check back in with Dave in the pits.
Rick, I wanted to give you an idea of some of the cooling that happens with the helmet. As we mentioned, A.J. Allmendinger having the helmet hose fall off. Let me first of all confirm it is sunny out here. There is not a cloud in the sky and 88 degrees. This is the opening where the helmet hose is connected from an air conditioning system, you could call it, that feeds the air into there, taped on here. Also the front of the helmet, too. Remember, there's a drink system that the drivers all have, and most of them just sucking it like you would on a straw to bring that water or fluid into their bodies all afternoon long. But without this one on top, that is going to be critical for A.J. Allmendinger. He needs that cool air. The team will have to decide if they're going to bring him down pit road and reinstall that at some point and take the time and lose a track position to do it.
Yeah, that air is spread all through the helmet. It cools your head. It also brings you fresh air to breathe. So And it's so hot. Once you get used to having it and you don't, oh, it is horrible.
I can promise you AJ tried his hardest to find that hose under this caution.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was probably reaching around in there as hard as he could to see if he could access that hose and refasten it.
And Dave left it open-ended like they may pit to repair it. No dice, buddy. Sorry. I know it's a long day, but I can't. I mean, if we get cycled to the back, maybe, but not from where we're running currently.
All right, guys, you can win $444 on July 4th from Busch Beer. That's right. Tweet hashtag Busch Light Apple and hashtag sweepstakes whenever Harvick's number 4 car is driving a lap with the number 4 in it. And you can win, which, by the way, will be coming up in just a few moments because they will be on lap 4 here at Road America.
I got my phone out. Big mover so far. Chase Elliott all the way up to 20th. Jeff, you pointed that out during commercial. That's a big gain from someone who had trouble in qualifying.
Kyle Busch up to 25th.
Long way up here until you get to the restart zone right there. And William Byron back into the gas. Kyle Larson strong on this restart in the number 5, that blue 5 on the outside. How will he do into turn 1? Ross Chastain in the 42 and Austin Cindric in the 33 fighting for that 5th spot right now, side by side as they go through 5.
And one thing I love about this racetrack is being on the outside of some of these corners isn't an automatic loss of a position. You race these guys if you want, maybe even carry the momentum on throttle coming off the corner to have the opportunity to run down and be on the inside on this corner. Great racetrack.
I don't know about 3 wide.
Whoa. That kind of contact right there, you just can't have. You know, you don't want to be banging on the fenders this early in the race. These cars don't handle that as well as what we see in the Xfinity Series. You get tire rubs, flat tires, loss of downforce and performance.
Logano moving to the inside of the 20. Christopher Bell.
I thought he was going off track. Rick, I thought he was going off track right there. I thought he was getting shoved off because I didn't know if Christopher knew he was there.
He might have thought the same thing as he was hard on the brakes there, but now following behind Christopher Bell.
You know, some of these restarts, you know, they all get single file. Just like the interstate, the guy 3 cars in front of you slows down. Well, the guy, you know, you got to slow down quicker, so somebody will just jump on in the other lane and try to pick up some spots. That's looked like what Joey's doing there. Marty, what do you have on the 48 car?
Hey, Jeff, yeah, we've talked about keeping the drivers cool. Well, how about keeping the race car cool as well? It's a bit of a concern in the 48 camp. Listen to Alex Bowman on the radio.
So you got 270 on the water. You said the brakes were getting a little soft there.
Yeah, 10-4.
10-4. We don't have any cooling we can open up, so you know, just making sure you have your fans on. I know you do. And we can open up the grill a little bit more and try to work on getting it cooler.
So there you go, Steve. 270 on the water. We're just 4 laps into this race. A concern for you?
I'm not concerned with 270. My concern, though, is as we continue to see laps, we see dust, debris, grass fly onto the racetrack. And as that goes into the grill area, it actually sticks into the radiator. So regardless of how much you open on the nose, the radiator itself loses efficiency. So, you know, doesn't matter how much tape you have to open, Rick. If the radiator gets clogged with stuff, it's just going to start running warmer and warmer.
So, Steve, let's make sure we break down at least the stages here, because this first stage 14 laps, and fuel window wise, how far can they go?
Yeah, these teams can all go about 17 to 19 laps on fuel, so they can easily make first stage, even the second, which is 15 laps long. The real question is what strategy to see Larson attack William Byron.
Wow, he's
really hard.
Ain't no way he's making this corner.
No.
He did a really good job, though, to stay out of the sand right there. Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, that was super smart. No big bad lockup. He's not going to have to come to pit road for what we can tell. And he only lost a couple spots. He didn't spin the car out, didn't end up in the grass. Great job.
I was either thinking William Byron must have really overdrove it, or nope, it was B. It was B. Larson was just way too deep.
I just know, though, most drivers would have ended up in a bad way there. Good job by Larson to save that and do what he can with it. Marty.
Junior, you know what's funny is right before that he said, we're really good here. And you can see him just kind of building up his confidence as he goes along. But that was a little too deep, right, for Kyle Larson. But that's going to be the cool factor of Road America today, Junior. We're going to see drivers like Kyle Larson who are so good at road courses. Parker, they're going to learn all day. They're going to get better throughout the race. They're going to learn where the limits are, though.
Right, Marty in the car trying to chase him down right there. Oh, as Larson gets real sideways through that kink there is the 8 of Ty Reddick. But that is a Richard Childress Racing car, the same as that 99 from Trackhouse. Well, they saw that issue, and you have to wonder sometimes when you see issues like that, what that might mean for the other cars in the race from that stable. Take a listen to their radio.
The 99 broke a tram there, so just be mindful on your shifts. Yeah, they've had some weird stuff going on this year on the road courses, about every race. Except Sonoma, they've had issues, so I'm not worried.
Oh, there's the answer. They're not worried. Maybe thinking the 99 might be doing something a little bit different with their transmissions. The 8 car right now handling great for Ty Reddick. He said, I don't need any adjustments in this thing.
Yeah, Parker running in the 4th spot right now is Tyler Reddick. Austin Center behind him in 5th, and Ross Chastain 6th. Larson only fell back 1 spot. He was running 2nd to Byron. Now it's Allmendinger who has that 2nd spot. Biggest movers, Kyle Busch has moved up 20 spots already. Chase Elliott has made up 12, and Austin Dillon 10 spots since the start of the race.
Well, Vegas had Chase Elliott as the favorite when you look at the odds heading into this weekend. You know, an okay day in practice, and then in qualifying earlier today, it wasn't a lack of speed for the 9 car, it was lack of laps. It was a timed session, and twice during the timed session he was on the racetrack and the caution came out. He actually never really got a real qualifying lap.
Steve, when I talked to Chase before qualifying today, he mentioned the word rhythm. He said there is speed in rhythm. There is pace in rhythm, and I have not found it this weekend. Never found it in practice. Never ran long enough to really feel my rhythm, even though he's been here before. He said so today in qualifying, also a quick session. Didn't find his rhythm. Hasn't said anything on the radio yet about balance, but he's waiting for this long period of time to really understand himself and his car on this racetrack today before he starts giving specific feedback to Alan Gustafson.
Great info, Dave, as we watch Chase Elliott continue to climb up the ranks. It's William Byron, the other Henry Motorsports driver, leading this field. Race Day companion, you can follow your favorite drivers with high-definition in-car cameras. And all you have to do, visit NASCAR.com/drive, or you can download the NASCAR mobile app today.
On board with the 9 of Chase Elliott, that front bumper cam provided by Xfinity gets a great shot as we look at the rear bumper of the 22. Look at the run the 9 gets down to turn 1. He's going to peek out and overtake the 22 into turn 1. Unfortunate weekend for the 37 of Ryan Preece. He had an accident in practice, had to go to a backup car, and then just a few laps ago had an issue with his car under braking. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but smoke coming out from underneath it. I'm not sure if this is driveline, be it transmission or engine, but that's going straight in turn 5, which connects to the garage area. So the 37 of Ryan Preece not having as exciting of a trip to Road America as he had hoped for.
Road courses are difficult on these cars, and already we've seen Daniel Suarez, now Ryan Preece, both off of the track and back into the garage. And you see another car there coming through with smoke rolling out from underneath it. But this is a tough course on these cars.
Yeah, we see rock solid mechanical vehicles at most of the ovals. And to be honest, even Sonoma and Watkins Glen they've found a way to get those cars to the finish line. But I think a little bit of unfamiliarity with the drivers and their shift points. And we went out on this track, Jeff. These curbs are anything but smooth.
They're very rough. You know, the curbs on the outside of the track, the curbs on the inside of the track. So as you're accelerating, you're running through these curbs. That's hard on transmissions, hard on axles. On top of that, you have way more high-speed braking zones at this racetrack than you do any other place we go. So that's more pressure, and you downshift on that transmission. You have to be more precise here if you're going to have the car live.
I think about tire fall off drive when you're trying to put the traction, you know, the power down and spinning the rear tires, braking into the braking zone, and staying on the, you know, using the curbs. Those things beat the tire up, beat the rear tire up, especially. So you got to use the curbs because it will make a faster lap. You also need to be careful sliding the left rear tire across the curb on the outside exit right here. If you're coming back up on the racetrack, try not to go way out there and slide across because it's just as rough as that interior curve. You can beat that left rear tire up, and it's going to hurt the car on the long run.
Remember, Chase Elliott started this race 34th, and already he's up into the top 15, running 14th right now. Impressive run. Chase Elliott right now 12 seconds behind race leader William Byron.
So let's take this opportunity to make a whole lap Road America with Chase Elliott. You'll see turn 3 right-hander. We talked about the heavy braking zones. All those braking zones require downshifting, heavy brakes. You have to sync up your RPMs. If not, it will wheel hop it. That can damage equipment. You heard him in the rev limiter a little bit right there. Now, downhill braking. That's really easy to get the rear end hopping because the weight's off the rear end of the car.
One of the things I noticed about Chase is he downshifts late. He doesn't use the engine braking of the downshift. I've typically used a lot of engine braking, really high revs to help slow the car down and stay off the brakes. But he uses a lot of brake, very little engine rev.
And that's easier on the components. Harder on the brakes, but easier on all the other components.
Brakes can take it as long as you keep the temperatures down with the front fans, and so that's just a different style, and it's obviously working for him really well.
Look at this corner. Look how long this corner lasts. This is the carousel. Look, the car's leaning the wrong way. The banking actually is the wrong way. It's off camber. Chase using every bit of racetrack. This is the kink where we saw so many troubles in practice.
3/4 brake pressure.
115 miles per hour through there.
I had no idea they used the brakes in the kink until this weekend.
I think a couple drivers were the same as you. I mean, Dale.
It's just not as fast of a racetrack as it looks. And, you know, talking to Cindric about going around the carousel, he's like, oh, it's not fast. It's slow. We're creeping. We're hardly touching the throttle. And we brake in the kink. I'm like, what? I thought it was a lift back to the throttle, but it's you got to brake. Slow it down. One thing I love about it, man, he turns in really late, comes across that corner in late apex and gets a good straight run off. That's going to protect that drive off on the long run as well, but that also tells you that car is turning well. When you can wait and turn later than everyone else, you're going to get a better shot off the corner.
It also shows you how good Michael McDowell's running. He's right in front of him. He really's not running him down.
I was just going to say, Michael McDowell, obviously, he's had success before NASCAR at Road America in the Pro Mazda Series, which is the IndyCar feeder series. So he has been running right in front of Chase Elliott in that 13th spot.
So we're going to talk a lot about the racetrack, about the speed, about the corners, and the word strategy will be used all day long. And kind of the first T in the road, if you will, is coming up in a couple laps. This track is so big, Dave, that you had the opportunity to come to pit road a couple laps before the end of the stage, provide service to your car, and go back on the racetrack without losing a lap. It'll be interesting to see if anybody decides to do that.
Let's talk a little bit about 6th place. Ross Chastain started 8th and has gained those couple of positions. 5 starts here in the Xfinity Series, so this huge crowd on July 4th enjoying the Cup cars. Ross has seen it before here in Wisconsin, supporting NASCAR in the Xfinity Series. Right now, their only concern for Ross, a little right front damage to the 42, but otherwise running strong. Marty?
Dave, we've talked a lot about Chase Elliott coming from the back. Well, how about Kyle Busch from 40th all the way up to the 16th position, plus 24 spots for Kyle Busch. His one concern, he told me before the race started, I just don't want to damage the car at all coming through the field. So he's been very careful, very patient, making his way through the field up to 16th so far for Kyle Busch, Parker.
That is the same for Austin Dillon, who's up to 21st from starting 33rd in this race. Just couldn't quite get a lap in qualifying. Every time they were on a lap, the red flag would come out. But even more remarkable, considering that Austin was in the Trans Am race earlier this weekend, and on Thursday, during one of their practice sessions, he lost the brakes completely in that car. In turn 8, went hard into the barrier. They repaired the car over 2 days, so he got very little laps. He jumped in that Trans Am race last night, started dead last, drove all the way up in the top 5 and turned the second fastest lap. And he said, I really learned some things that are going to help me here in the Cup car. Oh, we got an issue with the 96 guys.
96 goes around, and that's Ty Dillon.
Looks like it's exiting the kink.
Stays green.
Fortunately for Ty, no damage. It doesn't appear that he's hit anything with that car.
And we're seeing pit stops, just as you had mentioned, Steve. Dave? Oh, and Tilley goes through the
Yep, Kyle Tilley off in 78, and then we'll see if that brings a caution. He stays to the outside there, tries to keep the momentum going. Martin Truex is on pit road trying to take advantage of this situation before the end of the stage. He'll come down for a little right front damage repair on his race car. Otherwise, it's been pretty well balanced, Marty.
And Dave, with that potential caution coming out now, everybody happy with the move that they've made to come to pit road. Among those, Austin Cindric. This is an advantage of a team really not racing for points. They don't have to worry about those stage points at all. Everything is focused on getting the win. Cindric saying his car kind of falls off the longer they run. And Kyle Busch, Ben Bayshore told me this morning, at some point we have to do something different than everybody else. Well, here it is. First fork in the road. They decide to take it pitting before the end of stage one. They hope this gets some track position for Kyle Busch, who started shotgun on the field. Still no caution though, Rick.
No caution, and if you're at home and you think, oh, and the yellow is out now, huge advantage for the cars that have already been to pit road for service. I was getting ready to say, if the pit stops look funny, they are. They're backwards from what you normally see. The driver is not next to pit lane, so the orchestration of the pit stop, the footwork, and the travel of all the pit crew members have to be adjusted here. So we saw mistakes yesterday. We'll see who has any issues here. Let's take a look at what happened to the 78 and how he got here.
That's that carousel, and it looks like the left front. The left front was low on the car, it looks like, guys. I don't know if you had a tire down or suspension problem.
33-year-old Kyle Tilley from Bath, England, brings the caution out.
And with that car where it is, if we look at this shot right here, they have this little area. I'm going to see if I can draw on it. That right there, I call it the get out of jail free hook. It's optional. And you can put a strap front and rear bumper. This will allow the safety workers, instead of going out and having to open the hood and taking a lot of time, they can just hook to that and drag this car out of the sand. But you see how deep the front is stuck in. There's a great shot at it right here. With 3 laps to go, I'm not sure if we're going to see a green flag in this stage or if this will finish the stage.
Yeah, it looks like it might take a little while to get Tilley out of here, as he's buried almost up to the lights on the front of that car. We're hearing that Austin Dillon a little too fast exiting pit road, so even though the advantage that he thought he had, it's going to go away now.
Just evaporated with a penalty.
We'll be right back with more from Road America. As we welcome you back, NASCAR Cup Series Racing, telecast presented by T-Mobile. And what a beautiful sight here at Road America. These fans out here enjoying the weather, enjoying racing. There's brats, there's beer. It's a lot of fun for everyone involved.
Milwaukee Bucks fan. There's a lot going on.
So we had two other penalties during this pit sequence. 34 Michael McDowell and the 14 of Chase Briscoe, both driving through too many boxes. Becomes a little more difficult here. You're going backwards down pit road, essentially. Driver's on the left side of the car, so he doesn't have as good of a vision getting into his pit box as he normally would.
And another thing I think that hurts that and makes that more possible, Jeff, me and you took a lap around this track and came down pit road, and the boxes are really short, right? So, I mean, cars barely kind of fit in there as it is. So I think it's easier to run through more boxes because you're really covering just a very little amount of ground.
And right now, it's a lonely place, but it's about to pick up, Steve. They won't open pit road until the end of the stage, so they're going to make everybody go around until the green and white checkered comes out, which means that William Byron's going to win stage 1. You see Kyle Tilley. He was able to get out of that gravel pit, and he's making his way back into the garage. Jack Collinsworth, he is out there enjoying some of the coolest fans in all of racing.
We have found the most prestigious mobile home winners of the Awesome Campsite Award. It's the Andrews and the Niles family from Janesville, Wisconsin. What was it that put it over the top?
I think it's got to be our enthusiasm and the outfits. Enthusiasm and outfits.
You just couldn't stop buying anything, could you?
Stop buying anything.
It's simple words to live by. Party like a patriot. Boom, y'all.
I agree. I think it was the outfits. Those are spectacular. Congratulations to them on winning that prestigious award. Look at all the campers and the cars and the fans just everywhere. 640 acres and it's packed full of fans. And they're enjoying the day. I cannot wait to see these Indy cars go over the Korean War Veterans Memorial Bridge right over Cumberland River. There are limited single-day tickets that are on sale this Tuesday. Racing, fireworks, concerts. What an exciting weekend it will be for the NTT IndyCar Series.
So Rick, this is right there. One to go. Final lap of stage 1. This will be the easiest stage win for William Byron ever since the yellow came out. Did a lot of work until the yellow came out, but once the yellow came out, he's pretty much had it under control. So these cars should come around.
Steve, as long as he stays on the track, right, to take that green and white checker.
Well, you know,
he was reminded of that when you do pit. But one more.
Mark Martin, wasn't it?
Bristol
Xfinity race pulled in the pits.
Yeah,
Cale
Yarborough was going to win the race.
And I think David Green ended up winning that race.
Cale Yarborough did it. What did Kyle Petty tell us when the King won his 200th?
That's right.
Cale was running second, and he pitted with one to go at the Firecracker 400 in whatever year that was.
Harry Gant, I think, finished second.
Harry Gant finished second because of that.
Oh, yeah. Kyle Petty knowledge get dropped.
I was going to save it because I knew that'd be like a good trivia at dinner one night, but now that we've told the world, not sure it's going to work. Parker, we've seen a few penalties on pit road. The drivers coming backwards, the pit crew having to figure out a different orchestration to the pit stop. What are you seeing and hearing down there?
Right, Steve, and a lot of the teams down here reminding the drivers to only drive through 2 boxes. They're catching people do that. And here for the Ford team of Kevin Harvick, they have actually an empty stall on the other side of them. So they're telling Kevin, you can use that. You can use the exit here, but be careful coming in. And you see these crews. Yesterday we saw the A.J. Allmendinger's crew. They jumped over too early. Other times they hesitate. It's so awkward, as you know. When you change that choreography, you change your perception of how you view the car coming in. It's hard to time it. And so when you're down here and you're watching these crews, one of the most visible explanations that they're struggling is that you see them hesitate or they'll jump and then not jump, and it's really interesting to watch them try to navigate doing this from an entirely different angle.
I think the other thing, guys, you got to keep in mind is this pit road is uphill. I mean, clearly that's the pit road entrance, but as you get to the box where Kevin Harvick is, that is still uphill. So Kevin Harvick's got to keep his foot on the brake the entire time of this caution. If not, it'll roll off the jack, it'll move backwards, slow the pit stop down. So everything's harder at this racetrack.
So it's William Byron who wins stage 1. Allmendinger, Larson, Reddick, and Chastain. The top 5 on this 4th of July from Road America. Already. Well, you can download the official app of NASCAR and follow the action with free live scoring, in-car cameras, and a radio broadcast. You can upgrade the premium for full access driver audio channels and a completely ad-free experience. Search NASCAR in your app store to download and start a free trial today. So the 20 of Christopher Bell was trying to get by the 21 of Matt DiBenedetto. You see them here, and listen to what Christopher Bell had to say.
What happened with 21? Well, he went to go protect the bottom and then left me half a lane on the top and then braked earlier than I anticipated, so I had to go through the grass. 10-4. Looked like he couldn't decide on where he wanted to be there. Yeah, you did good. You blocked the bottom and the top.
A little bit of right front damage to that fender. They'll be able to make some repairs to get the aero back on that car, but I don't know if he was going to make the corner, even if, I don't know if, you know, Matt broke that early or like the 20 just cooked the corner a little bit. But
all right, it's time for the pit crews to go to work, and we'll throw it down to Dave.
Rick, the 16 of A.J. Allmendinger, pretty decent for him, but they're going to lower the air pressures in all 4 tires to make that car more compliant for the driver. One thing they're not going to do, according to the team, is work on that helmet hose. A.J. will be asking for bags of ice and water to keep himself cool as he can this afternoon. Meanwhile, the leader, William Byron, also on pit road. The car operating very well for William. He's led the whole way, won the stage, 3rd of the season for him. No real changes to the car, so it was just a free to start, but that's pretty typical, Marty.
Dave, the one thing running with 11 teams short pitting stage one. The best these guys who have led the entire race will start is around 9th or 10th or so. Kyle Larson said once he overcooked turn 5 that one time, he said, I was afraid to try and outbrake anyone else. I got to work myself up to it. He said, my biggest problem, turn 7. We're, quote, just flat slow through there. But he feels like drive off fairly good. Of those who pitted William Byron, hold serve here on pit road with the 2014 delivering a nice stop, Rick.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin also, his crew gets him out 4 spots better than when he came onto pit road. Chase Elliott also, difficult stop though for Allmendinger. Lost 8 spots on pit road. We'll be back for the restart right after this. Wisconsin back in 1956. NASCAR running for the first time. Tim Flock got that first win. It was actually a rainy day when he was able to outdo the competition. Let's look back on 1956 and what was going on. How about the first commercial videotape recorder was introduced? Peacock for NBC made its debut. President Eisenhower had the interstate highway system signed into existence. Of course, Tim Flock won the race. Elvis Presley's first appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show. Don Larson throwing a perfect game in the World Series in October. And then the Summer Olympics in November. Yeah, but it was down under in Melbourne, Australia. And how about a few drivers that celebrated, well, 1956 as the year they were born. Rusty Wallace, Ricky Rudd, Terry Labonte, and DJ.
Stacked year of talent right there.
Yes, it was.
So we talk about strategies and opportunities and the risk reward of pitting before the end of the stage. The reward was track position. The risk was you were going to have a couple laps on your tires. Hard. Well, the 19 of Truex, Cindric, Matty D, Kyle Busch, they all pitted for that risk reward, but then the caution came out, so they have no green laps on their tires. Still have fresh tires. Kyle Busch was 16th when this whole cycle started. Here he is in the second row. This could, all the way back at stage one could be what changes the whole complexion of the race.
Opportunistic, you would say, for some of those drivers that were on pit road when the caution came out. Long climb up the hill before they will get to the Geico restart zone. Again, it's Truex, Matt DiBenedetto making up row 1. Back underway for stage 2.
Truex will defend here, but Cindric outbreaks him into turn 1.
3 wide. Cindric on the inside, and Cindric takes the lead away.
Impressive corner by Matt DiBenedetto and Austin to get through and pass one of the guys that's dominated at the road courses along with Chase Elliott over the past several years. Martin Truex Jr. now under fire from his teammate Kyle Busch. William Byron back there trying to make his way through. Look at Kyle Busch into 3rd place here. Truex from 1st to 4th in just a few corners on this lap.
Heavy braking there for Eric Almirola. And that number 10 looked like he was going to go off track, but able to keep it going the right direction.
Now Truex pulling away from these guys, bringing the fight back to Kyle Busch in these few corners here.
Bubba Wallace able to clear that 10. So he holds on to the 5th position.
William Byron's making a lot of ground here on this restart. Doing a great job. One of the first cars that came to pit road now, climbing back through the ranks.
So Austin Cindric with impressive braking into turn number 1 has taken over the top spot, Marty.
And what an outstanding move from Austin Cindric. And Jeff, you know this, in the Xfinity car, you can kind of lean on folks as we watch this 3-wide pass to take the lead from the 2nd row on the restart. Just impressive outbraking of everybody in the entire field to get the lead after restarting a little further back in the 5th position, or 3rd position rather. But Austin told me, in the Xfinity car, I can lean on people with a car. I can't do that in this Cup car. That's something I have to talk to myself through all day long. There he took every inch of the road, Jeff, but he didn't make contact with anyone, something he had to have in mind today in the Cup Series.
It was amazing how far he was able to outbrake Martin Truex Jr. There's like 3 car lengths into turn 1. But Matty D is bringing it to Austin Cindric. Kyle Busch trying to run him down. It's going to be difficult to outbreak Austin Cindric. You're going to have to beat him on corner exit.
Man, Matt DiBenedetto is really rocketing out of turn 1. Let's see how he does here down in turn 3. Right up to the back bumper, little contact. Getting Cindric to look in the mirror.
Well, think about the situation with these two drivers, right? The rumors are Brad Keselowski leaving Team Penske. If that is true, the 2 opens up. The 21 of Matt DiBenedetto. This is a 1-year contract for Matt DiBenedetto. You know, perhaps Austin Cindric, well, we know he's moving up. We just don't know what car he's going to go into. So there's a, you know, interesting background between these two drivers.
And as Matt DiBenedetto looks strong in that yellow Menards 21, part of the reason is because of the conversations they had after Sonoma. Matt felt like the car just wasn't where it should be, and admittedly the team hadn't spent a lot of time massaging on this car. It was kind of an afterthought. A short track car turned into a road course car that really hadn't had a lot of time spent on it by the team. Matt said the team went to work, and when they went to practice yesterday, he said, I could feel the difference immediately. Guys, you know, that gives a driver confidence, and he can go to work.
Yeah, you got to have a car you believe in for sure. So saw Kyle Busch close in turn 5 a little while ago, but since then they drove away from him a little bit. Check out the Toyota driver update. Kyle Busch back there in 3rd, but this battle will take precedence right now.
They continue to fight it out, and we see that 21 of Matt DiBenedetto not letting Austin Cindric even catch a breath. Everywhere around this track, he is attacking, almost contact there, right to the back bumper of Cindric. Matt DiBenedetto running this road course hard.
See the draft help him a little bit. Close back in down this long straightaway.
Pierce to the inside, making sure Austin Cindric has to think about him.
Back
more
to the bumper
contact.
Again. Man, he's all over him. He's going for it right here. He's going to show him the nose. He's going to try to get inside. Cindric's going to run him hard off corner exit here. Maybe a little contact there between them two.
While they're doing this side by side, here comes Kyle Busch.
Yeah, you see the fender damage on the left front. A little bit of damage to the left front of that 21 car.
It's a left-hander they're approaching. Both of them in the corner so deep. Oh, Matty D going to try to cross him over to set him up for the left-hander up the hill.
What a great turn by Matt DiBenedetto, and he takes the lead at Road America.
Austin Cindric's not done with this fight. Now he's trying to do the same thing. Matty D's got the preferred lane, though.
All clear.
Ooh, that's a great thing to hear when you're driving, battling for the lead. All clear.
2 Mustangs fighting it out for the top 2 spots, and then right behind them, that Toyota of Kyle Busch. He was able to close the gap. Now we'll see if he can do anything with the 33 of Austin Cindric.
With NASCAR's increased footprint at the road courses across their schedule, your performance at tracks like this, Jeff and Dale, I think improve your resume to owners more than perhaps anything, right? You now know there are 5 to 6 different road courses in the regular season, plus 1 in the playoffs. If you prove like Matty D is doing right here that you can lead laps and potentially win at a road course, I think you look better to an owner.
Oh, I agree. There's so many road courses now. It's so important.
Jeff, you led to it earlier, but let's take another look at the Toyota driver update with Kyle Busch currently in the 3rd position. Remember, he started all the way back in 40th, a backup car after a practice crash, didn't go out in qualifying. So those little fresher tires enabled him to get up front, and then a good pit stop put him up into the 2nd row on the restart, and now running in the 3rd position. Fighting for that 2nd spot with Austin Cindric.
That little fade to the inside on the straightaways is nothing more than just kind of getting that guy's head in front of you. You get a little bit more air on the brakes in that deep braking zone. You're not trying to make a move. You're not attempting to make a move to pass just kind of being annoying. A little bit of a shift issue right there for the 33, and that's going to allow Kyle to gain quite a bit of ground here.
Gets to the inside, and can he complete the pass? Cindric keeps him down low, and Kyle not able to get by him. (21-33, 18-19). And the 24 of William Byron in the top 5. Now, Matt DiBenedetto starts to stretch it out a little bit here at Road America. NASCAR Cup Series from Road America telecast presented by T-Mobile. 49th Open Championship. The best golfers in the world compete on the rugged shores of the North Sea at Royal St. George's Golf Club in England. The Open Championship July 15th to 18th on NBC and Golf. We heard that the 11 of Denny Hamlin was having some issues potentially with his brakes fading just a bit, and it was evident as he was entering turn 5.
Yeah, this is that hard left-hander downhill. Just couldn't get it slowed down like he needed to. Kind of hung a right to keep from running to the back of Chase Elliott. And then right here, Steve, I hope he didn't get damaged right there.
Yeah, that big drop into the gravel, while he doesn't get stuck, you just don't know. But the radiator ductwork, once again, he takes a big chunk out of the grass, the splitter, the radiator pan. There's a lot of important components underneath the nose of that car.
This is what it looked like from Chase Elliott's perspective.
Wow, look at those replays of Denny Hamlin and his off-track excursion there. Hey, Burton, if I told you you had brake fade and you were having wheel hop, what would you say if you were behind the wheel of that 11 car?
Help me. I don't know how you're going to help me, but please help me, because that is the worst of the two things. Brake fade and wheel hop, Marty.
That's not good, and I think they may be coming down pit road here in a moment to just check out the car for Denny Hamlin. Obviously, they've lost all this track position now, and they're debating on whether or not they should just pit here.
Yeah, his brake ducts are full of grass. He's going to have to come to pit road to get that off right away. Be able to get some cool air back to those brakes before they have any serious issues and cook the brake fluid. But
the problem is, you know, if you have brake fade, that means that your brakes are not.
Where are the brakes? If they start to fade, we'll have to come. If they start to fade, we'll have to come.
It doesn't have the friction that you want. It won't slow the car down. So then you tend to want to put, you know, more brake. You got an adjuster in there, right? You can put more brake to the rear, but you got wheel hop. You already got too much rear brake in it. So it's hard to get out of this situation.
Well, the crew chief and the team, they're looking at the exact same thing we are right there. They see all that grass. I think if, you know, Steve, if you're on that pit box and you see what we just saw, they're going to bring the pit road right away. Do you say?
Yeah, well, because the other issue is if you get the brakes too hot, even if, you know, he could slow down and manage the lap time, you can damage the system, or even after you cool them off, they never return to as good as they once were. So this is not a day ender by any means for the 11 if they could come in and get the cooling corrected and he can manage it to the finish. The question is, what other mistakes could be made by the driver, or what permanent damage could be done to the car, Marty?
And Steve, right now, Chris Gabehart has made the call to leave him out on the racetrack. So he said, you heard the radio a moment ago, that was live. He said, if the brakes fade worse, then we'll come down pit road. But with 8 to go in the stage, I think they're hoping right now Hamlin, who sits in 15th, just 15 seconds behind the leader, just, hey, hang here, keep as much track position as you can, limp it through the end of the stage, and then we'll come. But we'll only come if we have to.
And even if they don't get to the end of the stage, get me to 5 more laps, 2 to go in the stage, and we're going to see another wave of pit stops like we saw in stage 1. Oh, it's Brad Keselowski, who has really had a bit of a struggle today. Backwards, I think that's turn 14. Running 25th, if you can believe it. That's just amazing. Brad Keselowski back at 25th. Let's see how it happened.
He was inside of McDowell. And
a little contact. I think that might be that's turn 1.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't the incident. That was turn 1 prior to the incident. That's just good hard racing there.
And that's the second or third time we've seen Brad Keselowski spin around at this racetrack.
Front, then it spun on him.
There you go, locked up the right front, then it spun on him.
I remember back at Daytona, the road course, he had a dismal afternoon or evening in that particular race, but it's been a rough one again this weekend for Brad.
Austin Cindric is all over the back of Matty D here.
So I'm wondering what Matty does here. They're leading. They are right now 21st in points coming into this race. If he has a chance to win this stage,
that's with him leading.
Yeah.
Matt DiBenedetto leading, that's where it puts him. So that would push Kurt Busch below that cut line.
I just think that, do you stay out and get these points if you're Matt? Coming into this race, though, he's 21st in points, so he needs points. Doesn't need just great finishes. He needs these stage points, and sitting right here with an opportunity to grab 10, but he was on a different strategy, pitted early for stage 1. What does he do now?
I understand where your head's at exactly, right? 60 points behind the cut line. So is he points racing into the playoffs, or does his crew chief say, you know what, let's pit before the end of the stage, keep this track position because a win automatically moves us into the playoffs. So that is a tough decision. And it's going to be even tougher because other cars are going to come to pit road. You know you're going to lose the position to every one of those.
I think you have to stay in position to win the race. I don't know that you can come. Oh, look at this right here on the outside. Matty D blocked the inside. Cindric just said, okay, I'll go out here.
What a move by Austin Cindric to take the lead back away from Matt DiBenedetto.
I believe he's going to lose 2 spots. The 88 Kyle Busch is going to fall to 33 through.
That might make that decision to come to pit road early in this stage a little easier for Matt DiBenedetto, but you heard Cindric downshifting, really using the revs, a complete opposite of how we hear Chase Elliott driving the car. Cindric is using that engine braking or those revs to help slow the car down, using less brakes.
Dale, we talk about
lockup right there,
man.
big lockup, way off course.
No damage though. Can Kyle Busch take advantage of it? Side by side.
From last to first, Kyle Busch is going to make the pass.
Oh, it gives him a little bit of room here and more of a lockup. Man, Cindric is got an issue, I believe.
Struggling now is the 33 of Austin Cindric.
Yeah, looks like the right front maybe wore out. Oh, he's got a spin now.
Something is definitely amiss on this car.
Yeah.
It almost spun around like it had an axle problem. I mean, it spun so quick.
Yeah, maybe get.
Yeah, he's talking about something with the gear, and I thought it was a tire as well, but he mentioned something about the gear problem.
Maybe when he either wheel hopped, he broke an axle, or he broke the axle out on that runoff, which is very rough. It's as rough as the interior curbs.
Yeah, because if you broke an axle or something in the gear, it's not just stepping on the gas that affects it. It's also when you go to downshift, it's going to make a big difference on decel.
He has drive, so that makes me think he might have broken axle. Looks like he got in here way too deep, and the wheel hop might have broken.
Or he got in there too deep because he was having a problem. It's hard to know which it is.
But to your point,
well, it spun both tires leaving the corner. Right there, you can see tire marks laid off of both rear tires, so I don't think the axle was broken at that point.
You're killing my strategies, Jeff. You're killing my plan here. I don't know. You're right. Let's listen in.
He wouldn't have been able to accelerate that like that with an axle broken at that point.
Right.
Agreed. See right here, he's got good acceleration.
There it's broke.
Yep, there it broke.
Yeah, he said he thinks it might be the left rear shaft is what he's saying right now. So trying to diagnose it while he's trying to come to pit road while the team figures out if they can fix it on pit road. Also, by the way, Denny Hamlin will pit this lap as Austin Cindric tries to make his way here to pit road.
So eventful day already for Austin Cindric.
Jack up the left side. Stretch, check. One of you guys stay back. No change. We're not changing tires right away.
So
all right, road crew over. Check, jack it up, and check the left side stretch. Look underneath, make sure your shock's hooked up. 3, 5, 4, 3, 2.
So they're going to jack it up to see if the shocks are hooked up. They think perhaps it's a suspension item. I thought they were going to try to turn the rear tires to see if it was a driveline issue.
Shocks hooked up, Steve. That's what now they're trying to figure out if it's the axle.
Yeah,
so he's pushing the right rear. You're going to see if the rear end ratchets go to the other side. They're going to spin that tire, and you should be able to hear the ratchet in the rear gear. No, that is connected as well. So now, unfortunately,
Locker.
sounds like they're trying to.
The locker, the left rear was spinning, leaving marks under acceleration.
That's what I saw. I saw it leaving.
Take it in the garage. Put on 4 stands in the garage.
Oh, unfortunate.
Either way, it's going to be the end of the day for Austin Cindric, or at least the end of the day of having any sort of chance to win this race. With 5 to go in this stage, I think we're going to see strategy kind of open up here. A lot of guys are going to come to pit road in the next 2 or 3 laps, but Austin Cindric, he had the pace, just couldn't quite get it all the way to the finish.
Led 2 laps today. William Byron has led 15 laps. Matt DiBenedetto was out front for 5. Kyle Busch has led. Martin Truex Jr. has led.
Look at this battle right here. LaJoy all the way up.
Oh, LaJoy, big contact.
Don't hit the wall.
Got into that dirt mound before the wall. Let's see if he can keep it going.
Let's see, his splitter's going to be dug into the grass right here. Might be waiting on cars to go by, but I don't think he'll be able to move.
Looks like he got off track and was trying to get back on track.
There he's
trying to plow the dirt. And he's going to put a lot of dirt out on the track and a lot of turf as well. Dave.
Meanwhile, this car, Matt DiBenedetto, has issues. He radioed into his crew that something was not right. Now his diagnosis is maybe a tire that is damaged. He asked how many laps to the end of the stage. They told him 4. He goes, it's not going to make it that long. So we'll see if they bring Matt to pit road early to take care of that. They're talking about pitting this time. You hear the radio.
Get all you can to pit road, still by 4.
If I'm a crew chief and seeing all this, I'm having a stern conversation with my driver. We aren't even halfway. Guys, we got to finish this race. It's 4 miles. Lots of area around 4 miles of racetrack. Curbing, grass, damage. Let's take another look at this. The 7 gets wide, I think, Jeff, and then tries to rejoin.
Yeah, he's way off track and just tries to come back on track and contact. I think that's Austin Dillon.
Yeah.
He's like, man, I'm here. You got.
That was hard contact between those 2 cars. I know it's damaged the right front of the 7, but you have to wonder what it might have done to the 3. Oh, gosh, hit him right in the wheel, right behind the left front tire.
You know, what do you do? Austin can't get out of the way. You got to get back on the track.
Yeah, man, I think if you're Corey, you gotta lift.
Well, that's
make sure you have
for you to say.
No, I mean, but like, I mean, you can't just force the guy over.
I'm coming in.
You've already missed the corner.
All right, so here's Matty D. He was complaining about thinks he has a tire problem, but needing to keep this track position. Look at Chase Elliott taking the fight to Kyle Larson.
Motorsports drivers side by side. Kyle Larson and the 9 of Chase Elliott gets by. You see the hand going out for DiBenedetto, letting them know he's coming to pit road.
Look at the 42 diving to the inside of Kyle Larson here through this corner. Has to give up that position, but
so make a note of that. Kyle Larson falling off at the end of this run.
Go.
Chase is coming there with you.
Don't slow down. Here we come. And they get to the commitment line and then to the speed line. Dave?
Strategy move by the 9 team to bring Chase Elliott in. 5th place, Matt DiBenedetto comes in the 21, led 5 laps today. That car very sporty. They'll both get service, 4 Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel to fill them up and give them strategy options moving forward. But mainly DiBenedetto's team wants to see what's going on with the tire he says is damaged, Marty.
Yeah, same for Denny Hamlin's team. They want to see what's going on with those brakes. He was able to keep it not only up in the top 15, but he actually was running 12th when he came to pit road. As you see Chase Elliott and Matt DiBenedetto finishing up their stops. Hamlin coming down pit road. Also Alex Bowman. You see him flash through the side of the screen there. Here comes Hamlin. Number 1 objective is to clean off that grill. Look at all that grass that is on the front of the grill. They have that pole. It has a brush on it. You'll see it come right off. There you go. That should cool down the brakes, hopefully help Denny Hamlin. But even with that grass on, he turned some terrific lap times. In fact, for a few laps, he was the fastest car on the track. Alex Bowman still dealing with that heating issue as well. Car still running a little bit warm, but still having a decent run in that 48.
And with all of this wave of cars, you see all the cars up and down pit road. Any driver that stays on the racetrack is going to have a good chance of scoring points in the stage. We're going to lose a lot of track position when the caution comes out and they decide to come to pit road.
Yeah, a lot of cars on pit road just now as they're coming off of pit road. It's Kyle Busch who's still out front. Has a 1.2 second lead over teammate Martin Truex Jr.
I was going to just ask you, Jeff, the 18 perhaps could come to pit road as the leader and get to the commitment line before they close pit lane. I'm not sure if he's going to or not.
You know, with where he is and championship battle and all that, I think to keep track position, I think I would.
Oh, we have a tire carcass right there. Looks like it's offline enough.
Coming this time. A lot of penalties for driving through too many boxes in and out.
18 right here.
Be smart about
He's going to take a hard right-hand corner, get up the hill. He has to get to the yellow line at the top of the hill. Truex is following him, and Reddick says, no, then I'll stay out and take the stage win. There you go. They both made the commitment line before the leader got to start finish, Dave.
It's a good recovery for Martin Truex Jr. after practice on day one. He said, what am I doing? Talked to crew chief James Small, said I need to go back and look at all the data, figure out what I'm doing. Did so, and we showed up for qualifying today, was a much better man, according to James Small, the crew chief. He qualified in the top 10, was running 9th, and Marty now is coming down for 4 tires and fuel.
Yeah, Kyle Busch making his way all the way down to pit stall number 1, Dave. Car's been pretty good, especially early in a run. It kind of fades as they run later. It gets a little too loose for Kyle Busch. Ben Bayshore making the call to come down for the 4 fresh Goodyear tires here as the stage starts to come to an end in stage 2, picking up track position. They hope. We'll see where he cycles out with all of those other cars, but with that whole host of cars pitted earlier, kind of made them come to pit road as well. Teammate Truex, though, beats him off of pit road here.
All right, so you mentioned points versus position. The one of Kurt Busch, he's another one of those drivers that came in right around the playoff bubble, only 3 points above the cut line. He stayed on the racetrack, and he's up into the 4th position. That's a lot of points if he could hold off Larson, maybe even trying to go get his teammate in the 42. Impressive of the stage.
Impressive pace. Oh, he's off the track.
No. Oh, boy.
Just as quickly as you said it, and now a lot of grass, but obviously when the caution comes out here in 2 laps, he'll be able to clean that up. But unfortunate for Kurt Busch.
Well, listen,
check the brakes, check the grill.
It only costs him 1 spot. Right now, it's only 1 spot, and they're going to pit and be able to get the grill cleaned off. So he'll be okay to make this amount of laps.
Yeah, he'll be fine. Just impressive, though, the pace that this one car has. His teammate Chastain is flying as well. Both of them driving by Kyle Larson, who I thought was the favorite to win this race. I thought this car was going into the wall, or at least, at least suffer some type of damage. So, heck of a save, but Kurt.
Well, a little bit of mistake about the 1, but we're here in the 19. Too fast entering. Good strategy gone bad with a penalty.
The penalty has hit a few different drivers today. This time it was Martin Truex Jr. And still that grass all over the grill, Dave.
And he was so happy with this race car. Rick radioed into the team. Our strengths are straightaway speed. Braking is fine. We just need to make it turn a little bit better on the right-handers. And you know, there's a lot of them here, including one big right-hander, the carousel. That one goes on forever. So they'll come in soon. He'll be watching the temperatures until he gets that grass off the grill.
I'm not sure he's done trying to chase the 5 back down. He might be thinking, maybe I get 1 point back.
Well, we talk about, how Denny Hamlin was the fastest car on the track, running some great laps. Anytime you close up those grill openings and stuff like that, it's like qualifying. You're going to add some downforce, add some pace in the car. As long as the brakes don't get hot, you'll be able to get into the corner deeper, run down the straightaway faster.
Talked about points, Steve. How about this car, the 8 car? He's in this battle to make the playoffs as well, staying on track to get those 10 points.
Tyler Reddick leading his first career lap on a road course.
I was a little surprised the car in second place, William Byron, didn't pit before the end of the stage because he had, he won that first stage, which I love the call, win the stage, but then they haven't really cycled back to the front. I thought this was the stage they would throw away, but they're going to go for some points, stay on the racetrack in second.
Hey guys, look who's going to get stage points even though they pitted Kyle Busch sitting in 10th. They've told him, hey, take it easy. The 19 had that penalty, so you just take care of those tires for this 3rd stage.
Well, I'm looking at some lap times for some guys that pitted and just sitting there trying to save tires. Like, some of these guys are creeping around the racetrack because they're going to line up in front of everybody that pits, so they're trying to just save the tire the best they can.
And Jeff, just to add on to Steve's points, we watched Tyler Reddick here come to the final lap of this stage. He finished 3rd in the first stage, and he was actually able to pass Byron and Larson when we went from that last restart at the end of stage 1. So this 8 car is really fast. They made very little adjustments as he comes to the end here. He's been very happy with it. I think this is a threat, a car that they all know they have to go beat if they want to win this race.
and he'll be coming up to the green and white checker. So Tyler Reddick grabbing his second career stage win, and it comes at Road America. And as long as he makes it into the playoffs, that'll be a playoff point that he's earned as well. William Byron, the winner of stage 1, finished second in stage 2. Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson, and Kurt Busch round out the top 5. Telecast presented by T-Mobile. Fans enjoying a beautiful 4th of July here from Road America. Great shots from up above this park area. Aerial coverage brought to you by Geico. Dave.
Rick, there's a lot of things at Road America, as beautiful as it is, that can abuse Goodyear tires. And when Matt DiBenedetto said that his tire would not go another 3 or 4 laps, he was right. This is the chunking that occurred on the left front of the 21 car. Hard to tell exactly how it got started. That one was not going to last. They pitted early under green and will rejoin in front of a lot of the guys who are going to pit now.
I'm willing to wager that damage started with it sliding across the pavement under braking, if that was the left front. Maybe not, but you know, a little flat spot can look like a blister after running laps.
See the 51 of Cody Ware going up there passing the pace car. He'll get the free pass, so he'll go all the way around the racetrack.
Yeah, pit road's closed, guys. They said the field is too strong. I think all the teams were ready to come down pit road there, Steve.
Good thing no one didn't. That's an easy way to have a penalty, right? I mean, you just assume it's going to be open when you come off turn 14. You know, just take a right-hand turn and don't listen or look at the light. So a lot of the leaders paying attention. That would have been an easy penalty to see.
So because the field spread out so far, they keep pit road closed. They'll go around one more time before they'll come to the attention of their crew. Great outfits.
Sweet summertime.
And Marty, that 22-year-old that you're standing with looked very impressive to start this race.
Oh, also impressive, and thought he might get a win here today. 1 minute battling for the lead, and the next moment, what happened, Austin?
Yeah, we seem to have a mechanical issue. Pretty much gave me one-wheel drive, so that's obviously not conducive to stopping turning or accelerating. So I think we've identified the issue and probably how to prevent it in the future. It's just it's frustrating just to not only one day but 2 days in a row to have the opportunity to come in really well prepared equipment and obviously have enough speed to win some races. And yeah, I love Road America even if it doesn't love me back.
How was it to battle though for the lead with some of the best in the business?
No, it's what you dream of. It's why you work really hard. I've been overwhelmed this week trying to figure out what gear I need to be in each car. Nonetheless, trying to figure out how to contend up front. I left myself low expectations for today. I know, we were fast in qualifying and had a lot of positives, but just tried to keep the brakes on it throughout the day. Felt like we had long run speed, and I think that was going to really pay off for us and give ourselves a best chance to win the race. But overall, thankful for Pertec, for performance, everyone that makes this deal possible, and we got one more race in the 33 car and hope to make the most of it.
And Rick, I don't think that's the last we're going to see of Austin Cindric battling for the lead in the Cup Series. Of course, he'll be here full time next year.
Yeah, I agree. The young man, so much poise, and obviously unfortunate the way it ended for him, but takes the positives. He got to race against the best, and he was showing them that he could be one of the best.
Well, think about it. He had an opportunity to win the race yesterday in the Xfinity race. Was fast, got in a late race caution. A wreck wasn't his fault. Then today, had a chance to win this race and had a mechanical failure. So, put yourself in position. It's not always going to work out, but he did that on both days.
So the field needs to bunch up again. As NASCAR had said, they were too strung out when they came to pit road entrance the last time. So now this time by, we will see pit road open up for them, and teams being able to take advantage of an open pit road now. And you see them diving to the right. Tyler Reddick will lead a long line of cars up the hill and to the attention of their crews.
As you said, Tyler Reddick got his first stage win of the year here in the 8 car. The team reminding him, do not pull into the box early. Do not go through too many boxes. They've been nabbing drivers for doing that. Do not speed. The risk is not worth the reward. He's been very happy in that car. Just had air pressure adjustments. They're going to do the same air pressure adjustments now. Ford Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel, Dave.
Parker, when I talked to Ross Chastain this morning, he said, I feel like I have a car that I can contend with anyone today. And he's showing that, running third when he pitted for Goodyear tires. He said he just wanted a little tape taken off the front because he knows he's going to be in the back of the pack. That for handling and brake cooling. Meanwhile, William Byron on the right-handers, a bit too free. Doesn't feel like he can put the right rear into the track, Marty.
Hey, Dave, with so many playoff points in the bank, you might wonder why Kyle Larson didn't short pit that stage. Cliff Daniels said, I just felt like our long run speed has not been good enough today to do that. So they ran the stage out. He said, I didn't manage the tires very well. That was Larson saying I got too free at the end of that run, just no overall grip. And the pit crew delivered for them of those who pitted. You see that, Rick? They won the race off pit road.
Important for Kyle Larson. He'll have the freshest tires and be back out on the racetrack. Kyle Busch, coming before the caution came out for the end of stage 2, is going to be starting up front. It's been a wild day already, and Steve, you mentioned just moments ago, we haven't even got to halfway of this one, so we're closing in on that, and we'll come back for the restart and the start of stage 3. Inside of Road America here. Playoff push continuing for the NASCAR Cup Series. It continues actually next Sunday at Atlanta Motor Speedway. That race coverage beginning at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on NBCSN. Kyle Larson led 269 laps back in the spring, and Ryan Blaney ended up winning that race. So we'll see if he can sweep Atlanta when we go back next week. Look at the crowd there on the hill getting ready for this restart. Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott making up row 1. There's Matt DiBenedetto on the 21 and Denny Hamlin making up row 2 as the field approaching the Geico restart zone.
Kyle Larson first off pit road all the way back in 18th.
Denny Hamlin, a little bit of a shove there for Chase Elliott, but a rocket of a start for the 18 of Kyle Busch. Benedetto is going to slide into second. Chase Elliott third. Fight for fourth is on.
19 of Martin Truex Jr., who pitted before the caution. Like Kyle Busch, remember, he was nabbed for speeding, so he started basically all the way in the back of the field.
You see at the bottom of the screen, Kyle Larson, one of the first cars with new tires, pitted during that stage break, trying to work his way back toward the front.
Currently running in the 5th spot, the 14 of Chase Briscoe, running for Rookie of the Year this year for Stewart-Haas Racing.
I think Chase is a pretty good road racer. Had good speed in practice. See if his track position can help him out.
Yeah, remember Jason told us that he got so much help working with Austin Cindric when they were teammates in the Ford camp. Austin Cindric taught him how to road race, taught him how to brake.
Another driver that Jeff, you thought would have a good day right behind him, Alex Bowman in that 48. Now with some track position, see what they can do with that.
Larson all the way up to 13th. That's a lot of cars in a half a lap on a road course from 18th to 13th. Good job by Larson.
So Matt DiBenedetto had great pace on this second stage. You can see already he's on the back of this 18 car pushing hard. He's going to be in position to go to the inside. He'll have the inside lane heading up to turn 12.
What a great run coming off the carousel and through the kink. And so now DiBenedetto once again trying to take the lead away. And this time he gets it from Kyle Busch.
He has incredible pace early. And we know he had that tire issue late in the run. If he can protect those tires and not have that issue again, will the pace stay with this 21 car throughout this remainder of the event? Let's listen to some radio from Matt.
That left front tire wasn't anything you did. Was a tire issue, manufacturing issue. So don't change anything inside the car.
There you go.
Yeah, I thought perhaps it came from a flat spot, but they must have had shown it to the Goodyear engineers. They feel it was something with the tire, so that's reassuring information to the driver. Well done by the crew chief and the team letting him know.
Well, I was thinking the same thing you were, Junior. I was like, well, maybe don't run quite as hard early in this run, but that communication right there was go get you some.
He's got really good pace and comes in here outside the cutoff for the playoffs. So obviously a win would be massive for this team and for Matt.
Well, for the team especially, because they're right now stuck on 99 wins for the organization. So if they could get that century mark, if they could get 100 wins, what a huge accomplishment that would be for the Wood brothers.
Well, Matty D's been very vocal. He does not know what he's doing next year yet. So clearly, everybody wants a winner.
With 29 laps to go in the race, fuel window about 18 laps. So regardless if you were before the caution or at the stage break, you still must return to pit road for a full tank of fuel and another set of tires. The question really comes in if we start to see yellows, when do you put on fresh tires? Do you give up track position later in the race or not?
Take a look at today's Xfinity fastest laps. Right now, it's the top 5. DiBenedetto, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, and Chase Briscoe. Dave.
How about Chase Briscoe in that white number 14 Mustang, maybe catching a little bit of dirt right there, coming through the kink. Chase told me this morning, this is the best car I've ever had here. I said, why'd you qualify 31st? He said, well, twice I was on good laps qualifying this race car when the caution came out or the red came out. Those laps are nullified by rule, and so he didn't have a good lap in the 14. He said, I've never felt better about a race car here, and I should be good today. He is.
Really the same thing we saw catch Chase Elliott off guard. 2 cars in front of Briscoe. Same situation. Never got that clean lap in for qualifying.
Remember, he got penalized early in this race for driving through too many pit boxes. So a good pit strategy there, Steve, to get him back in the battle.
Another guy that went off track, had a lot of issues in turn 5. Denny Hamlin's worked his way back into position here. Great rebound from that team. Staying focused.
Top 10's full of those good stories, right? You got the 20 of Christopher Bell back there in 7th. He had damage with the 21 earlier in the race. He's back there behind Alex Bowman, and behind Christopher Bell, you got Chris Buescher and Mike McDowell, Austin Dillon. I mean,
McDowell, look at the damage.
Yeah, oh man,
he's got big damage to the right, to the front of that car.
Somebody must have checked up in front of him, or maybe a little bit too hard of entering one of the corners.
Yeah, you have to wonder if that's upset how this car is going to cool, how it's going to cool. Is that ductwork moved around, separated from the nose?
When you use one of Dale Jr.'s favorite terms he used to have as a driver, and I'm going to let you know that's not optimal. I used to ask temps at times, and what would you tell me? You say, they're optimum.
Yeah.
I think that I always translated as that is I can't see the gauges right now, but nothing's flashing.
I didn't have time to give you the details, man. Things are good. Things are not good.
Hey, it's still a nice top 10 run, though, for Michael McDowell, right? He's hanging in there. And when I spoke with that team this morning, guys, they told me that one of the reasons why he'll be much better today is the braking package on that yellow 34. The last time they updated it, 2013, they have updated in a big way today, and it's working for McDowell, Parker.
And the car trying to crack him down there is that patriotic number 3 car driven by Austin Dillon. The great run here with a Dow Salutes veteran scheme there, that patriotic July 4th scheme with 1,900 veterans names and military members on that car. You can see them on the hood, all those white lettering. That's 1,900 veterans on board. What a great message from Dow to salute the veterans out there and all our military members.
And that continues to grow. When that program started, there were 400 names that they had on there. Now over 19, as you mentioned, Parker. Great promotion and an organization. Dow continuing to support our veterans. Kyle Busch is fighting for that second spot. DiBenedetto and Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe, top 5.
Kyle's lost second spot for Chase Elliott. Chase has found a way around that 18.
Junior, I'm going to give you credit. You said it all the way during the qualifying show. Chase seemed dejected, hadn't quite found a rhythm. And I think he needed to hear your pep talk. You were confident that a guy like Chase Elliott with enough laps would figure this place out. And here we are in that final stage. And the favorite from the odds makers coming into the race has proven why that is. I mean, he's won 5 of the last 7 races. on the road courses, 6 stage wins, so he knows how to get it done. It's just a place he didn't have a lot of time.
All right, Steve, the top 10 are all on the same strategy as far as they all came to pit road around 26-27. What is the strategy for these guys, especially the leader, DiBenedetto?
Well,
what do you do with him?
You can run 18, probably 20 laps on fuel. So they can, the real question is, you could run to probably mid-40s, but it's all run as long as you dare. If you want to have fresh tires at the end. What do I say? Rick, you tell me when the caution's coming out. I'll tell you we should pit.
Let's go NASCAR nonstop.
Today tastes like it's all fired up. Like it's cooling down. Tastes like open air and closed eyes. Today tastes like a Sunday ritual. And it never tasted this good.
Hey, new toy?
Bought it with my Credit Karma Money debit card and won a reimbursement. With all the money I saved, I'm gonna buy
A new TV?
a new TV.
Get paid back for the stuff you pay for with Instant Karma.
If you want to be a winner, then get a turkey footlong from Subway. That's oven-roasted turkey, piled high with crisp veggies on freshly baked bread. So let's get out there and get those footlongs.
Now at Subway, buy 1 footlong in the app and get 150% off. Subway, eat fresh.
Get the part you need from the comfort of your garage. Order online or via the Advanced Auto Parts mobile app. With Advanced Same Day. Get same-day pickup, same-day curbside, or same-day delivery. Advance how you order, how you get parts, how you keep moving. Advance your auto. Advance Auto Parts.
I am a driver with a dream. And part of that dream is making all the doubters believe that my name belongs here. I may be new to some, but I am not to be taken lightly.
Oh, and now they're really going at it.
Yeah, they are. Because if you let your guard down, I will rise above. I am the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I am NASCAR.
The American Century Championship is back with a star-studded event from Lake Tahoe. Charles Barkley, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and last year's winner Marty Fish. The American Century Championship on NBC and NBCSN.
You can go inside the headset with access to NASCAR Scanner for only $2.99 per month. Listen in on pit strategy, spotter communication, crew chief calls, hear what your favorite driver has to say during the race. Visit NASCAR.com/scanner to start your subscription today. And Matt DiBenedetto once again under attack from Chase Elliott.
Right on board the Xfinity cam off the bumper of this 9 car. Chase going through the gears up the hill, across the finish line. A little bit of draft right here is going to close him in. Going to look the inside here, put the pressure on. He's going for it.
Matt gave him plenty of room.
Matt's going to allow him to take the position as they head down to turn 3.
Yeah, the last couple laps, the 9 car of Chase Elliott had been about 4/10 a lap quicker. Chase getting comfortable, happy with his car.
Bad thing for the rest of the field.
He just fixed his seat belt. You must be comfortable when you can adjust your belts while you're racing.
Kyle Busch all day long is taking this approach into this corner. Trying to make sure he drives that car perfectly straight so he doesn't lock up the light side of the tire as the car unloads, all day long he's done that into that corner, and it's worked for him.
He takes second, looking to sweep the weekend. He won the Xfinity Series race yesterday.
So Matty D right now, it's okay, right? You're still in position to win this race. I know you just got passed. It's okay. Do not try to overcompensate right here. Dave.
Jeff, there's a couple of reasons why he's running third and not first anymore. Two of those reasons, of course, are Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch. They're pretty good on the road courses. But also, he says, I'm losing grip in the right-hand turns in this 21 car as the run goes on. And as we know, Road America, 4 miles of it, but there's a lot of right-hand turns, Marty.
Hey, Dave, 2 laps ago, Ryan Blaney was running 12th. Now he's 18th. Why? Well, on the racetrack, he had contact with someone, and now the hood is buckled up on the 12 car. Yeah, it's buckled up quite a bit. They have fashioned some bare bond here. Well, that's a big dent, isn't it, Steve, on that 12 car? He had some fairly significant contact. I asked Todd Gordon, who did he hit? He said, I don't know. All Blaney said is we hit someone, so that damage they're going to fix on the next stop. They have asked him, can you make it last 6 more laps? Clearly he can. He said that will get them then to their window to be able to make it to the end. There's that bare bond they have ready when Ryan Blaney does come down pit road.
The good news for the 12 is it's dented in a way that I think he still has pretty good vision, although it's not good vision through the dirt and dust of the 1 car right there. But you see it's popped up a little bit where the flaps are, but you know, as long as it stays in that condition, I think it's not going to affect Blaney and his ability to see.
About the car he was under.
Yeah. That car has some bumper clearance somewhere, some rear bumper clearance.
Oh, wow. Kurt Busch trying to work himself back up through the field. Got those stage points. What's the penalty for that? Line it up. Just worked himself back up to 16th.
Well, 24 laps to go. I mean, you said it, Jeff. Just remain calm. There's pit stops, probably restarts. There's a lot of opportunities here for this race to come to you or go away from you. Don't make a mistake at this point.
Yeah, obviously, there have been a lot of Xfinity races here and a ton of late race cautions in those Xfinity races. I don't know why this race is going to be any different than those.
You don't think patience is going to grow as we get closer to the finish?
Typically, it does not.
Brad Keselowski coming through right there. Had an early spin. Has recovered well.
Back up to the 18th spot for Keselowski, and right behind him, that damaged number 12 of Ryan Blaney. Guys, how about we listen into the sounds of Road America as we're hearing from the now 38 cars on the track.
amazing to be able to ride along with these drivers and watch them, how they get around this track, shifting gears, look at working that steering wheel, working the throttle. Really, really technical stuff, man, and we're thankful to be able to have these cameras and get this type of access.
And listening in to these drivers and how they're negotiating this 4-mile track. Well, it's time to once again take a look at what lap you're on. Lap 40. $444 from Busch Light on July 4th from Busch Beer. Tweet hashtag Busch Light Apple and hashtag sweepstakes whenever Harvick's number 4 car is driving a lap with the number 4 in it. And you could win. You've got 10 of them right here. You won't miss a thing as we have NASCAR nonstop. Keep you right here at Road America. Chase Elliott's out front.
I get a little bit closer. Every day is a faded sign.
Get the part you need from the comfort of your garage. Order online or via our mobile app with advanced same day. Get same day pickup, same day curbside, or same day delivery. Advance your auto. Advance Auto Parts.
Welcome to Sonic. May I take your order? 1 crave cheeseburger.
I'm on it.
Crave cheeseburger, almost ready. On my way.
Someone pass me the crepe sauce.
Almost ready on the burger.
1 Sonic cream cheeseburger.
And mess me around, and then worst of all, you never call, baby.
Daydreaming again? But I love you still. You know I'm driving, right?
I do.
If you ride, you get it. Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Rule the playground. Toyota, let's go places.
I am a season no one saw coming. Not that it's a bad thing.
I'm ready.
I am something none of you expected. And each surprise leads to one heck of a summer. Because this year, to make the playoffs, you better win, or you're not in. And one thing is for sure this season, I am not certain what happens next. And neither are you. I am NASCAR.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Coda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
Is the Jockey Made in America 250 from Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. And what a gorgeous 4th of July afternoon it is. The fans have shown up, over 100,000 in attendance this weekend for racing. As we see Christopher Bell in the 20 trying to put pressure on that 21 of Matt DiBenedetto.
So, Rick, I know this might seem silly, but I drove around the golf cart or the track in a golf cart trying to figure if I was a fan, where would I park my camper, Junior? What part of this track would be the place that I want to see this race from? And it's hard to beat this combination here, you know, through the carousel and down this backstretch area.
I was wondering if you figured out a place, because I did the same thing. I rode around here all weekend, and I kept going, oh, that's a nice little place in the shade.
Yeah, shade was high on my list.
So I watched the Trans Am race from that. Here's a Christopher Bell making a run on Matty D. able to clear him. Matty D's car, once again, just not good on the long runs. But I watched the Trans Am race from that Brat beer stand over there where Jack was earlier. They got shade and vending. Nice. It was, yeah, had beverages, food. Big time. I have a feeling Denny Hamlin and his team are not talking about the best place to watch the race from. Let's hear what they're talking about.
All right, spotters, if you guys see something that'll turn into a caution, you can get them here. Lambert, you'll have to make that call, but you guys start keeping your eyes peeled. If you see anything that looks like it would be a full course, you would come.
That is basically, so let's go back NASCAR pre-stages. The key to every road course was come on pit road right before yellow. Well, now you know when the two of them are because they're at the end of the stages. Well, now there's no more stage breaks. So this last pit stop, or what could be your last pit stop in perfect timing, Rick, would be if Denny Hamlin sees somebody go off turn 12 in the gravel and can get to pit road before the caution comes out. Remember, we saw the 78 in the gravel earlier, and it took, what, maybe 20 seconds for NASCAR to determine, hey, can he get unstuck or can he not? So that was a good communication from the crew chief to all of the spotters around the racetrack. I'm giving you the green light, and there it is. So now this right here, if I'm anywhere down in turn 12, which unfortunately the whole field is really around the middle of the racetrack, so I don't think anybody will pit.
I think I blew a tire and let that wheel off that bad. Felt like the left rear went down.
Anthony Alfredo.
If he blew a tire, he'll be stuck. He won't get out of that sand.
And on pit road is Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, how about that timing, Rick? They were coming to pit road before the 38 came. Now they have to fix this damage, but the caution is now out. That's going to be a massive advantage for this 12 car who can make it to the end of the race from here.
Bingo! That's like hitting the lottery right there for the 12 car.
The 10 car also. Geno Valmarola was on pit road.
What a bit of good fortune for the 12, and unfortunately for Anthony Alfredo and the old Speedy Cash machine. Oh, you see the debris. He said he thought he blew a tire unless he wheel hopped. I think his analysis was dead on. The left rear is flat. Anthony Alfredo, nothing to do but ride along.
Oh, you see some brake rotor coming off there. I think he exploded a brake rotor in the braking zone of turn 1.
Great point there, Junior. I didn't see that the first replay. Tell you.
And so they'll hook on to the 38 and pull him out of that gravel pit. But the caution coming out ideal for the 12 of Ryan Blaney. He was already on pit road. They were fixing that damage to the hood. When the caution came out, they said take a little bit more time and get it right.
Yeah, he's still sitting there. I mean, it takes that long for the field to get behind the pace car and caught up. Great race management by Todd Gordon, understanding how big this track is.
Todd Gordon announced this week that he will be hanging up the crew chief headset at the end of 2021, but maybe good fortune here helps him out as Alfredo gets into turn 1. Series from Road America. This telecast presented by T-Mobile. It's been a while since we've checked in with Jack Collinsworth. As a matter of fact, I think it was when he was eating the double brat the last time we saw him. How did that go down, Jack?
Yeah, Rick, I'm playing injured. I burnt my face off with that one, but we haven't seen a crowd like this all year long. As you come out here in the middle of the woods, there's been a premium on the Woodlands all weekend long. My guy Joey been coming here since he was a baby. I mean, you act like you're happy. You know what I'm saying, Joey, a little bit? It is green. He cheers every time the cars rip on by, but we're having some fun over here in the woods. Everybody says the most important thing is you got to find yourself some shade. They're not wrong, Rick.
Well, you found it, and smiles on everybody around there enjoying this weekend, this 4th of July weekend, and so many families we're seeing too.
Right, and we did see Jack's commitment to the double brat. I mean, the chef could have told him, look, this is right off the grill.
Yeah.
Give yourself a little bit of space. But I mean, it's amazing. The place is so big, so vast, you almost lose touch with how many people are here because they are everywhere. Every nook and cranny, anywhere, to his point, to Jack's point, anywhere there's shade, there's a campsite or a tent or a campground. And it's racing country for sure, because you walk around there and you got every T-shirt, every driver's represented. It's a fun crowd.
Yeah, and they're getting a great show. I mean, this has been incredible. Obviously, the equipment is trying to keep up with the abilities of these drivers, and we're seeing a lot of, either brake failure. We saw a rear end problem for the 33 team.
So I want the race to be safe. I'm not wishing bad luck on everyone, but I will say I love the fact it's a little old school. Remember, you know, the early years of NASCAR, part of your job as a driver was to get your equipment to the finish line. And I believe these drivers have been kind of retaught in the last few years to just go as hard as you can because these cars will hold together. Not on this 4-mile road course. There's too many opportunities for mistakes by the driver and mechanical failures. So while it is exciting and a little out of the ordinary, I'm enjoying the task at hand for the drivers.
All right, Burton Jr., you guys surprised by what we're seeing out of the Cup Series here at Road America?
I'm glad Steve's not wishing bad luck on everyone in the race. That's pretty nice of him to do. You know, we saw some of the guys we expect to win this race or try to win this race. Chase Elliott, who's dominated road courses for a while. Those guys are toward the front, right? But the guys we saw early in the race, Chastain, Kurt Busch, Reddick, Larson, they're not really driving back through the field since Stage 3 started. Are they going to be able to finally get back toward the front and be a part of this race at the end?
A lot of talk about the drivers, but I want to talk about the pit crews. So we got a big pit stop coming up right here. You know, this can determine a race. Now's an opportunity for pit crews to have that stop of the day, give your driver a chance to win this thing. Here we come to Dave on pit road.
Two strategies merging into one here, Jeff, toward the end of the race. With 18 to go now, a couple more caution laps. They will have enough fuel to get to the end. Overtime notwithstanding. It'll be 4 tires and fuel for Chase Elliott. He's asked for no changes on this 9 car. So the winner of 5 of the last 7 on the road course is in good shape, Marty.
Denny Hamlin pits from running third, Dave, and a nice run for them. Loose in the right-handers, tight in the left-handers. He needs more forward bite. Kyle Busch animated on the radio saying, "I'm getting my butt kicked out here," meaning the 9 car was doing all he could to stay out front. He said the engine is also, quote, not crisp when I'm at park throttle. He said I need better drive off. That's the biggest handling issue. Kyle Busch will win the race off of pit road from those who pitted, but you saw the cars that stayed out. Busch gains that 1 spot, Rick.
Yeah, so his crew did the job on pit road. So we see the 11 also making up a spot. Chase Elliott lost a couple. Kyle Larson gained 5. So wins and losses off of pit road. We'll see how it all shakes out. They'll line back up for the restart when we come back. Race visiting here for the first time in 65 years, and the fans have definitely come out strong. Listen in to Kyle Larson radio here just moments ago.
How was Chase able to pass them? Those guys were trying to hustle their cars pretty hard, and they just kind of made mistakes. And, you know, Chase, he was very patient and calculated and just set him up.
We've heard that from Cliff Daniels before. He's very aware of everybody around him, and so there he wanted to know, how did Chase get by those guys?
That was some low-key advice, I think.
Take it easy on these tires.
Parker.
Guys, as we look at Eric Almirola, who got in just before that caution, like Blaney, he had 2 reasons why it was really lucky. One, it gave him the lead, and the second, his left front tire was blistering just like the 21s coming apart. Now the leader. Great fortune for him.
Front row on a little bit older tires, so Almirola and Blaney up front will bring the field back to the restarts.
Oh, big check up in the back there. You see cars maybe had some contact.
Look at Kyle Busch on the inside of Almirola.
Almirola drives it in there deep, pushes up the racetrack.
Really deep, allowing Kyle Busch to get by the 12 of Blaney. Now it's 3 wide for third, but a chance for the lead. Here comes Kyle Busch once again. Chase Elliott with the momentum down that back stretch, and let's see how he does in turn 5.
Yeah, that's great acceleration out of that corner.
Remember, this is a left-hander, so you're trying to position yourself to the left side of the racetrack. Look at Kyle Busch once again, that inside lane, just the only one doing that today.
Blaney trying to hang on now. He had Almirola to his inside. Now it's Denny Hamlin that's inside of that 12. Kyle Larson over the back bumper. Here comes Chase Elliott.
And that car rolls the center of these corners so good. It turns and changes directions really well. A lot of front grip.
There's a good look underneath the 18 for you.
See what the track bar is doing on that 18 car.
into the kink, and Chase Elliott leading at Road America.
You can hear Chase Elliott modulating the throttle, on and off the throttle. Going to do that corner at the edge of grip.
I know these two guys are racing, but Almirola's settled right in behind them. I was wondering if he had any pace to be there, but he's hanging right with these guys.
Fuel-wise, Steve, these guys can make it to the end?
Yeah, I think they're going to make it to the end. Overtime would probably be a little questionable. Blaney and Almirola pitted under green, so that tells me that was just inside their window. The leaders, the 9 and the 18, were 2 laps later. So I think you just lose so much rear grip later in the run. Your fuel mileage gets better because you just can't step on the gas.
We talked about it in qualifying, Junior, but Almirola sitting right there now has somebody to chase, somebody to kind of pace off of. Brake when they brake, accelerate when they accelerate. Marty.
Hey, Jeff, tip of the cap to Todd Gordon and Ryan Blaney. Sitting in 5th right now, Kyle Larson trying to get that spot. But remember, when they made that strategy move, got the fortunate caution, they were running 18th at the time. And see if you can unpack this and sort of explain their day. On one pit stop, on one stop, they took out 4 rounds of track bar. That's a put in 4 rounds of track bar, actually. That's how loose that car was, Parker, as Kyle Larson goes for 5th there.
That's a great pass by Kyle Larson, but just ahead of them there, as Jeff was alluding to, Eric Almirola getting to see what these leaders are doing. I was talking to him before the race, and he told me, you know, the toughest part for him on road courses is that he only wants to brake about 80%. He said, I just get scared smashing that brake pedal like you have to, and maybe sometimes when I'm falling, I can get sucked into doing that, and I find a little bit speed, but when I'm by myself, I regress to just doing about that 80%. He came into this day, he said, I'd be happy if we get out of here with a top 15. Right now, obviously, fighting with Hamlin for this 3rd position.
You know, braking is so important. A lot of racetracks we go to, Junior, you know, the teams own you. Get off the brakes, get off the brakes. You know, you're slowing the car down, but on road courses, the longer you can stay in that throttle and get on the brake at the last minute, there's real lap time in being able to do that. When the race is over, your legs, I mean, it hurts. It's crazy. Like, you can hardly walk. That takes that much pressure.
I think all the racing that these guys do outside of the Cup Series also helps them understand how to maximize braking. You learn by running in IMSA and the 24 Hours of Daytona that the best time to brake is when the car is going the fastest. It has the most downforce, it's being pressed into the racetrack the most, has the most load on the tires, so there's less likely a lockup or anything like that. So you brake extremely hard initially for the corner, and then you come off of the pedal as you roll into the corner. Marty.
Hey, you guys talked earlier, and had we played the radio from Cliff Daniels to Kyle Larson, and I think that you're right. It was a subtle hint. Hey, take it easy on these tires early in the run, because that's been their weakness, the early part of the run. Kyle has admitted twice on the radio now, I think I abused my tires early in the run, but with this long of a run, still 15 to go, which is a long way at Road America, you want to save all the tire you can. He is hounding Denny Hamlin for 3rd.
You're right, Marty. It's 60 miles still. 15 laps. That's a long way to go in this race.
Every time I see the 5 car through the kink, it seems like it's sideways, sliding that left rear tire. I would imagine that would be the tire that goes away. And to circle back that comment Marty had about the 12 and the track bar adjustment, talking 4 rounds, looks like an inch of track bar. That is a major adjustment. Surprising, you know, they had practice, so it wouldn't shock me as we see Kyle Larson methodically working by the 11 right there, didn't overdrive it. So big adjustment for a track that you got a little bit of practice at.
Chase Elliott now has a 1.1 second lead over Kyle Busch, running 2nd as we go NASCAR nonstop, Road America.
From roof to foundation, the damage to your home can be devastating, from clogged gutters, leaking roofs, and flooded basements. Protect your entire home with Leaf Filter. Our stainless steel micro mesh screen keeps out all leaves and organic debris.
It's protected my home. I love it.
Call 833-LEAF-FILTER or go to getleaffilter.com for your free gutter inspection and estimate. Call or log on today and save 15%.
If I crave something, I have to have it.
Well, so what are you craving? Like, what do you crave?
Attention, apparently. Look at him all sitting in the middle.
I know, right? It is really awkward. You just chose to sit there.
Sonic Crave Cheeseburger.
Liberty Mutual, customizes car insurance. insurance so you only pay for what you need. How much money can Liberty Mutual save you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2,807, $72,808. Yep, everything hurts.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I remember
Today tastes like it's all fired up. Like it's cooling down. Tastes like open air and closed eyes. Today tastes like a Sunday ritual. And it never tasted this good.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
Welcome back, America. It sure is good to see you. I am a season no one saw coming. Not that it's a bad thing.
I'm ready.
I am something none of you expected. And each surprise leads to one heck of a summer. Because this year, to make the playoffs, you better win, or you're not in. And one thing is for sure this season, I am not certain what happens next. And neither are you. I am NASCAR.
The American Century Championship is back with a star-studded event from Lake Tahoe, Charles Barkley, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and last year's winner, Marty Fish. The American Century Championship on NBC and NBCSN.
While the Dawsonville, Georgia native leads this race, next week we go to Atlanta. One of my favorite tracks on the circuit, the Xfinity Series race on Saturday. Sunday, the Cup race. Countdown to green starts at 3 p.m. Should be a lot of fun, Jeff. That was a fun racetrack, man. A lot of grooves, running all over the place, wore out slick.
Yeah, he slip and slide at a high rate of speed. Remember, Larson dominated that race. Blaney passed him with 9 to go to win the race in the spring. Wouldn't surprise me one bit to see a late race pass next week as well. Dave, what do you have on Chase Elliott?
Well, Jeff, when I spoke with him this morning, the first thing he said was, we are not good, and you can report that. Okay, they weren't good, and it was because Chase said, I couldn't find my rhythm at this place. Practice was a series of short runs. There were stoppages as cars went off or had damage, and he never had a chance to really get the feel for this place. But once the race opened up today and Chase began logging laps, he began to find his pace and his rhythm, and he's found it here at the end. Alan Gustafson has put him in good position, obviously strategy, and no changes on that last stop. Has the 9 right where he wants him to be.
We saw it nonstop, the 24-car William Byron off the racetrack. Looks like he gets too deep into turn 5. Not going to drive through the sand, so he's going to try to figure out how to turn around. Looks like he just kind of got edged off the racetrack by Austin Dillon.
Hey, let's not put ourselves out of the race here, Tab. Let's make sure we're taking care of our stuff and hope for a caution.
So that's after the fact. Hey, settle down. Let's wait for a yellow. Regroup. Don't do anything crazy. Don't make any more mistakes that are going to compound the problems.
You could try to throw a little bit of a Hail Mary. You said wait for a yellow. You know, run the lights, say 10 or 9 to go, and then pit and put on fresh tires. He's not going to run anyone down, maybe 1 point back there. But pit, put on fresh tires, and then hope you get a yellow and hope the guys in front of you think they need to come get fresh tires. That's about the only way I can see the 24 cycling it back towards the front of this field. Parker.
Well, guys, we look at the top 5 right now. One driver that sticks out to me is Christopher Bell. What a great run for him in 4th place right now. Remember, he won at the Daytona Road Course, but came into this race without having a top 5 since April. Talking to Adam Stevens, he said, you know, our year has just been hit or miss. Even when we're in position, things just seem to fall apart. We need a solid run here, and we think we can get it as he gets right on the back of Kyle Larson there, looking really strong, that 20 car, Marty.
Yes, teammate Denny Hamlin is behind him, and he said, what a recovery for that race team, sitting in the 5th position. They had the off-track excursion as Bell goes for the pass on Kyle Larson, and then they also had the brake issue. But when Larson passed Denny Hamlin earlier, he said, man, they are absolutely killing us when it comes to motor. That ECR Hendrick combination, no doubt the horsepower even showing up here at Road America.
Definitely going to show up on those tracks like Pocono, Road America that have the long straightaways, acceleration through the gears. A lot of people talk about what the advantage is that Hendrick has found. Well, all the Chevrolets seem to be running better. So I think it's a little bit of aero, and it's definitely some power under the hood.
The 20 looks a little quicker than the 5, and just a little more neat and tidy, Jeff. You know, we keep talking about how the 5 perhaps abuses his tires a little more. Well, visibly, the 5 definitely looks like it's sliding the back of the car around in certain areas where the 20 is able to drive much straighter on corner exit and on corner entry.
And sometimes you think that's driver style, but in many cases it's just the grip in the car. You know, some setups, some cars make more grip than the others, and if you want to try to keep up with them, you have to push your car really hard, and that forces it to slide around, and that's what kills tires.
At the bottom of the screen, turn 6, saw the 48 of Bowman there. You see him back there, just kind of taking it easy. Hasn't really been up front all day long. Haven't talked about him much, but he's just been methodical, taking care of that car. Kind of closing in on these guys.
Marty Jr. checked in with Greg Ives a moment ago. Remember, they had that overheating issue, or just kind of ran hot earlier in the 48. Once they pulled that tape, it's been fine. I said, how's the handling been? He goes, that's been okay. Actually, that last run, Alex, the tightest he had been all day long. So they made a pretty big swing here trying to free him up. This would be his 5th straight top 10 at a road course. Kind of an under-the-radar road course racer, but Alex Bowman getting it done when it comes to results at the road courses.
I agree. Under the radar. Just doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Hardly misses corners, slides tires, or anything like that. Just real tidy and clean all day long.
Smooth. Yep.
Yeah.
He's a really smooth driver.
When he first started working with us at Junior Motorsports, that was the first thing I noticed about him, was how smooth he was. He could run the same lap over and over and over, matching his corners perfectly. Great little driver.
Taking care of that equipment, and Chase Elliott with a 2.5-second lead over second place Kyle Busch. He's trying to get around the lap car of Kyle Tilley right now. Third place Kyle Larson cresting the hill, coming down to turn 3. Christopher Bell looking to the inside, trying to take that spot.
That was a late move by Bell, and Larson, good for Larson to be watching for that.
Bell slipped the left rear getting down in there, but he has more pace, and now Larson has to wonder if he fades back to this 11 car. And is Larson saving anything, or has he used that car up again on the long run?
I just think they can't make it work on the long run, as Denny Hamlin's going to go for the spot here. I mean, he's done everything he can, and they've reminded him, Cliff Daniels, almost every lap, don't abuse it, don't abuse it. But no matter what he does, just seems like they don't have longevity in that 5 today.
That's frustrating when nothing you do as far as a driver helps save the car or make the car better on the end of the run. There's a lot of racetracks where you can try to back up, not run as hard in the first 10 laps. Nothing seems to be able to affect this 5 car for Kyle. I know he's probably in there making those adjustments.
The best thing to save tires is a great setup.
Yeah, good point.
It's hard to overcome it.
That's a good point.
Denny Hamlin up to 4th now. So it's Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, the top 5. Alex Bowman, mentioned him moments ago, in 6th. Kurt Busch into 7th. Chase Briscoe, the highest running Rookie of the Year contender, is 8th. Eric Almirola 9th, and DiBenedetto in 10th.
Larson got through the kink, or Denny Hamlin didn't. I'm not sure which, but
I think Denny didn't. Had a little bit of an issue there. Gives that spot back to Larson now. Bowman back here trying to figure out how to get by both these guys. I think he has a little more pace than both of them. And then behind them, Kurt Busch closing in on this group in that number 1 car.
There's Kurt running in that 7th position, trying to close the gap just a bit. Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, 1 and 2 at Road America. We go NASCAR nonstop.
Had a million nights just like this. So let's get down to it.
Our story begins with a man named Mike who ventured deep into the jungle in search of a legend.
Eureka.
And if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have this.
How'd he get the lemons out of the jungle?
Did he have like a suitcase? Or...
In his pockets or something?
Here's to Mike.
To Mike.
Hey, what's that?
Bought groceries with my Credit Karma Money debit card and won a reimbursement. So I bought myself this trophy.
And filled it with nachos. Don't say it.
Nacho trophy.
Get paid back for the stuff you pay for with Instant Karma.
Oh, hey, Pat.
Toyota, let's go places.
Everyone has two chapters in their lives. Before their first Big Mac and after their first Big Mac. Spoiler, the best chapter is the last. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Well, Geico's 85 years isn't just about time, you know. It means experience. I mean, put it this way. If I told you I'd been jarring raspberry preserves for 85 years, what would you think? Well, at first, you'd be like, that has got to be some scrumptious jam. And then you'd think, he looks fantastic. I must know his skincare routine.
Geico, saving people money for 85 years.
Beg your pardon.
The season barrels on, and the surprises just keep coming. Next curveball, Atlanta Motor Speedway, the fastest track in the South. Next Sunday on NBCSN.
For 161 years, the Open Championship has stood the test of time, spanning eras and generations.
From my hometown, ooh, the people I've made.
Once again, Americans will begin their day watching the Open and the best in the world as they compete on the links. The Open Championship on NBC and Golf.
NASCAR Cup Series back at Road America. This telecast presented by T-Mobile. And once again, let's listen in on the sounds of Road America from inside the cars. beautiful visual as well as the sounds of these drivers, what they're able to do with the machines. Chase Elliott out front by 4 seconds over Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, the top 5. Under 8 laps to go from Road America.
Ross Chastain in front of the shot, just got by Joey Logano.
Joey too far into the corner. He's going to miss it just a little bit. It's going to give Reddick an opportunity up here in turn 6. Joey's going to back off there and let Reddick have it. Parker, what you got?
Juniors, we saw in that onboard shot we rode with Joey Logano there, and you could see his right foot down on the pedals, just easing into that throttle. That has been the situation all day in that 22 car, not able to hook up those rears, fighting a very loose condition off the corners. Although he's been tight to the carousel, whenever he gets back to that gas, they've not been able to hook up the rear tires in that 22, and you saw it really visually there when we were on board, and that's what he's struggling with now, falling back.
How about the hard charge we're seeing out of the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. as he's closing the gap on Logano?
Had that speeding penalty back about mid-race. Had to go to the back of the pack, but he's worked his way up, currently in the 13th position. If he can drive back up into the top 10 without any sort of strategy call, that's an impressive run for the 19. As we see someone off in the dirt, looks like they were able to continue.
See the foot cam. Oh, the 8's now off the track. Every lap, somebody's going to make a mistake. But Joey's driving up through here into turn 14. Pumps the brakes real quick. Got Truex to his inside. He's going to ease that throttle down. It's trying to spin the tires. Has to lift every time to shift.
Watch this little pump of the brake right here.
Maybe a quick tap. And then hard into the braking zone of turn 1 right there.
That's a security tap.
Yeah.
I just know I have brakes.
If you tap and nothing's there, you're gonna lift and say, hey. Parker, what you got on the 8 car?
Well, as we saw him go wide there, we talked about Joey Logano struggling to put the power down in that 22 car. Well, for the 8, it's the opposite. He's been struggling to actually stop that 8 car as of late. In the last couple laps, he's come on the radio complaining of brake fade, and we knew this would be a subject coming into this race as we get in these waning laps. It's one of those situations for a lot of these drivers and teams. How much have you saved those brakes? How much do you have left inside that car? It's such a question mark often of how have you treated that race car throughout this race.
We've seen a couple cars come to pit road, the 6 of Ryan Newman, the 24 of William Byron. And I think that's just a little bit of a hope for strategy. Catch a yellow, now you can stay on the racetrack with fresh tires, because with 7 to go, guys, if the yellow comes out right now, normally we talk about road courses, once you have track position, don't give it up. But with the tires, the way they fall off, and a 4-mile racetrack, I believe these tires, or these drivers, are going to have to get some tires if the yellow comes out, Dave.
I would think so, Steve. We've seen that before here in the Xfinity Series, and certainly the Cup teams watch the strategies that happen there late in the race. Look at that blue and red 19 car of Martin Truex Jr. talking to his team earlier today. One of the strengths that they said this guy always has at the road courses is how he takes care of the equipment. You mentioned that earlier, and how this one is good to the end. But all that driving through the field he's done since the penalty on pit road, that has been impressive. Not only does he take care of stuff, he's extremely fast, and Truex is making something out of nothing here today at Road America.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you who else is fast. Ross Chastain, since his restarts, picked up 10 spots. There he is right here. He's run Matty D down. He is the only one right now that, he's the second fastest that lap. Still not the pace of Chase Elliott, but he doesn't have the track position that Chase Elliott has either. Ross Chastain, the second fastest that last lap. He has come through the field.
And the car that was the fastest was Kurt Busch, and we saw this earlier in the race. These two cars set themselves apart from the field in long-run pace. Whatever Ganassi's doing at these road courses, we saw it at Coda with Chastain, had great speed there. Shows up again today, both these cars really fast.
There's some spots in front of Kurt Busch, as you mentioned it, and some spots in front of the 42. I think both can improve.
Kurt Busch has Hamlin, Bowman, and Larson in his vision. There you see that is under 6 laps to go from Road America.
Chastain is,
Oh, the 5, the 48.
Oh, no!
He
collects the 5 teammates. Unfortunate for Kyle Larson, but a mistake there by Alex Bowman spins his teammate.
Junior, you saw it coming before they ever made contact. The 48 was just in way too deep.
Stop this getting in the front.
I think the 48 may have had some wheel hop or just cooked the corner.
Out of brakes.
Out of brakes. Let's see it. Pushing really hard late in the race. I think he's...
Yeah, he was not trying to make this pass. That's too far to come from behind. He had trouble. You heard him say out of brakes. Clearly just was not expecting to have that little friction getting into the corner.
A little bit of contact on the quarter panel for the 48 there as he comes around the 5 here. Watch that. Boom. Pretty hard damage.
On top of that, there's still 6 laps to go.
Yeah, look at the tire rub now.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's pretty severe on the... And he's going to have a hard time making that work all the way to the finish.
Sheet metal rubbing against that right rear tire.
What do you do, Steve?
Man, I came to work for TV, so I didn't have to make these decisions.
Well, I think
I think at this point you're going to have to leave it up to Alex Bowman. I don't see a lot of smoke anymore. Maybe only on the left-handers, but at this point,
I think with the wins he has, he can take this gamble. But look at speed at that load up the hill and on the straightaways, it's terrible.
5 laps is just not good. I think you pit him at this point, Jeff. I mean, you can't.
Not good on the straightaway.
Yeah. If you have a flat tire at the end of one of these straightaways, you can wreck a race car. You know, you could lose confidence in your driver's confidence in you. I think at this point you have to just come to pit road and fix it and hope you get a yellow.
How aggressive do you try to defend the 11 right now?
Not at all. I mean, you're just trying to get home without giving up a ton track position. But I would think you'd not be thinking about this 11 car at all and just wonder if this thing is going to try to clearance itself or not.
A lot of cars on pit road in front of us, so I don't know if that's. Yeah, I think that's just a strategy call. I assume they can all make it on fuel. I haven't heard anything on the radio.
Maybe they're thinking that he's going to blow a tire.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Maybe we're looking at the yellow.
And they're hoping for a yellow. That's why they're on pit road.
Wild.
You know, as a driver, Alex Bowman, what do you do? Because my experience is the tire always blows at the worst place.
Bowman's coming next time, guys. They just said it's rubbing too hard on the straightaway. To your point, Steve, not worth the risk right now to hang on to that track position. And now Alex Bowman saying, I'm sorry. Tell the 5 I'm sorry. I could not stop at all. I did not have any brakes.
Let's not make a bad situation worse. I know Alex Bowman's sorry, and I know we want to try to limit to the finish, but I like Greg Ives being a leader and saying, I'm going to make the decision, come to pit road.
I'll be honest,
this is a fast racetrack in areas.
I agree, but I watched these next few straightaways. Is it clearanced itself? No smoke here. Let's see what it does out of the kink down this straightaway. If it continues to smoke right here, I may consider bringing him. But look at it. I think his problem may have solved itself.
Just a little bit of tire smoke we're seeing down that straightaway. Not nearly as much as we saw earlier. But how much wear has it done to that tire?
Look at this.
Yeah, Christopher Bell has got
straightaway. That's where it's going to go. So we got to pit.
Yeah,
4 tires pulling out.
Alex Bowman saying, I know it's rubbing. Should we consider staying out? So he was thinking like you, Junior. And Greg Ives, to your point, Steve, being the leader, said, nope, you're pitting. You got to pit this time. We can't have that happen on the racetrack and bring out a caution.
Well, Chase Elliott's leading. I don't want to be Greg Ives and blow a tire and have a caution come out for my teammate who's leading. I already spun one of my teammates, so let's go ahead and put 4 tires on it. Let's not have an awful Tuesday meeting. Let's try to keep the enemies just the 5 car.
Yeah, I don't like to race that way. I mean, that was the one thing about plate racing I hated, was having to worry about your teammates and take care of your teammates. And you got to run your own race. I think I'd have left him out there to see if he could have made it just a few more laps.
Just 4 to go. As you mentioned, Chase Elliott's out front. He's got a 6-second lead right now over Christopher Bell, who took 2nd away from Kyle Busch. They go to work on that right side.
The tire there, right above the tire. Pull it first. Pull it. Yep.
To Greg Ives' point, that fender would have cut that. It's right on top of that tire. So, Junior, I know you would have wanted to stay out. I'm not sure that would have made it 4 more laps.
He's not in my fantasy lineup. I'm saying that's just what I would have tried to do. I think if I was the driver, you know, it would have been tough to give up that position. But they made the call they needed to make. So
he was in my fantasy lineup. I appreciate you throwing some salt in that wound.
What a great battle right here. And Chase Briscoe, this run that he's having in the top 10, currently in 6th, fighting against Kurt Busch for that position.
And where did he come from? Chase has really turned it on here. I thought Kurt Busch had the long run speed, but this 14 car has found something late here.
Confidence for sure at this racetrack. Last year when he knew he was going to be racing more, he rented basically a ride in the Michelin Pilot Challenge Series to get laps here, and it was extremely valuable to him. So coming here, he knew exactly what he was doing as a rookie in the Cup Series, one of his best runs of the year.
So I saw the hand out the window of the one car, and I think he's just trying to get some air. You got to think these drivers are really cooking inside these cars with a few laps to go. Miserable hot day. Working harder than they've ever worked. I mean, when you go to a new track, especially a road course, you work way harder than you need to. Once you learn it, get better at it, multiple trips, you calm down, you know where to rest, you know where to take advantage of those opportunities. But this first trip's tough on these guys. Look at the damage on the 11 car right there. Big hole in the left front fender.
I think Kurt Busch would take this finish right now, right? If he could finish, just give me this 5th, let me move on. He's made up 86 points in the last 4 races to get himself pretty solidly in the playoff hunt.
He's 22 points above the cutoff line now, 23 where he's running.
I mean, this team a month ago was talking about we have to win. There's no way we're going to point ourselves into this, but the last 5 weeks they've done really good work.
You mentioned that damage on the front of the 11, Junior. I remember seeing some damage on the right front, but the hole on the left front looks new.
Well, I think when Larson and all that was going on, he got that damage right there from that spin when the 48 got into the 5. The 5 car back to 14th is dropping like a rock. Almirola, Stenhouse going by. No pace right now in Larson's car after that spin.
Briscoe's taking it to Kurt Busch. Spun the tires there coming off of 5, but definitely putting the pressure now on Busch.
We talked about it last year, Steve, a lot, watching Chase Briscoe race in the Xfinity Series, how good he was on road courses and how important that was going to be at the next level. Here he is, showing people he can do it. Marty, what do you have on Hamlin?
I think these drivers, to Junior's point, are just hanging on physically inside the car. They're not saying much at all. But Denny Hamlin just a moment ago, still trying to gain spots, said, I have absolutely no left rear tire left. So they're hanging on inside and the car as well.
This road course stuff, it is so physical, so hot outside. That makes such a difference. The heat just transfers into that car. The brakes are hot, the transmission's hot, the rear end's hot. All that goes just straight to the driver. Look at this move right here. Oh, Briscoe thought better of it.
Guys, as we watch this battle, I look at the pylon on the left side of the screen. Some names really jump out to me. How about Ricky Stenhouse Jr. up to 13th? I don't think we've mentioned his name much today. Truex has driven all the way back up to the top 10. Austin Dillon, as we see Larson falling. Cole Custer inside the top 20. Eric Jones 19th. So, this long run to the finish might be a little bit of saving grace for some of these guys today.
Under 2 laps to go, just over 8 miles.
This will be a career day for Stenhouse. Don't think he's finished inside the top 15 in any road course race he's ran. Sounds a bit like my career for most of the first half of it anyways.
We're at the bottom of the hour right now. We'll be here on NBC until the top of the hour, 6 o'clock. Burnout interview, victory celebration, and then NASCAR America post-race show from 6 to 6:30 on NBCSN. Here comes the one, Kurt Busch to the inside. He'll try to take the spot away from Hamlin. Kyle Busch running 3rd, Kurt Busch 4th. Hamlin 5th, Chase Briscoe 6th. We'll see if Chase tries to be aggressive to take that spot away from Hamlin. Under 2 laps to go, hard into the turn. He's able to hang on to it.
Nobody right behind him, so no loss.
That tells you right now that's the toughest corner for the braking zone. I've talked to Cindric and other drivers, and they all say no corner's harder to get down into without mistake. These drivers are starting to find that limit, stepping over it every once in a while.
Chastain right behind Briscoe thought he was going to be settled in for a 7th, and now he's thinking, well, I don't know. Now maybe I can get 6th.
The drivers are give out, brakes are give out, tires are give out.
Kurt Busch out there. We talked about him, 42 years old. I'm not. Bring it on. Taking it to these young
guys.
Look
at him. He's hot.
Yeah, he's
got
hot.
His hand out the window. He's like, man, he's trying to do anything he can at any moment of the track to get a little air inside there. Even with a couple to go, you really push yourself to the limit. You tax yourself to that last lap. You use everything you have up.
It is amazing when you put your hand out the window how much air just comes dumping into the cockpit.
That leader, the 9 of Chase Elliott, Rick, turns through turn 14 and climbs the hill back here to the start-finish line in front of us.
Up the hill he goes, and now 1 lap to go, presented by Credit One Bank. Chase Elliott has almost a 6-second lead over Christopher Bell, running second. A fan favorite for quite a few years now. Chase Elliott has become won a championship a year ago, trying to defend that title. Look at the numbers that he has put up, especially on road courses. Jeff Gordon, 9, the most of all time. Tony Stewart, 8, and Chase Elliott right now at 6, tied with Bobby Allison, Richard Petty, Ricky Rudd, and Rusty Wallace.
And shame on me, Rick, when I saw the odds come out at the beginning of the week and all the talk, everybody had Chase Elliott the favorite, and I don't know, he hadn't been here in a while, doesn't have the experience of other drivers, didn't show up great in the practice lap times, but Dale Jr. called it. He said, give these Cup veterans time on during this race, and they will figure a way. Chase started way in the back, and he's worked his way all the way to the front.
Dave Byrne mentioned, as we're listening to Chase Elliott, the way he works his way around this racetrack, Dave mentioned rhythm. That's what Chase was talking about. He wanted to find that rhythm as he works his way through the carousel for the final time.
Going to his home track next weekend, Atlanta Motor Speedway.
How careful he's taking it, not touching the curbs, not even really using the maximum amount on corner exit.
6.5 second lead. Now it's do not make a mistake.
That's right.
We said that before his very first win. Remember when he went into turn 1 at Watkins Glen, he made a mistake and let the car behind him catch up to him, but I think he's learned his lesson as well as figured out his rhythm here at this racetrack. Coming up to turn 14 for the final time, and the crowd here at Road America appreciative of what they have been able to see out of the reigning champion of the Cup Series. It's the 7th road course win. Chase Elliott wins at Road America.
Great pit stop.
Christopher Bell coming home in second, a great finish for him. Kyle Busch is third. Brother Kurt Busch will finish 4th. Denny Hamlin in 5th.
Great drive, great
Briscoe
stop.
does a good job holding off Chastain for 6th. Tyler Reddick rebounds. So does Truex. Top 10 finishes. Matt Benedetto, strong all day long. Another top 10 finisher today.
Chase will make his way down into turn 5, and that's where we saw Jack Collinsworth most of the day, because such a huge crowd right there in that area where you're in between turn 5 and 13. A lot of shade, but a lot of green grass area for the fans to enjoy the racing. Again, a reminder, we'll be here till 6 o'clock on NBC, so to the top of the hour, and be able to enjoy Chase Elliott's interview, which will happen here shortly. NASCAR America will have post-race from 6 to 6:30. And Chase is going to go right by where we were going to talk to him. Right on by.
Hey, man.
He must have waved all those fans, Rick. I mean, there's 4 miles of fans out here.
It's a new racetrack, new things. Not sure where to go. probably hadn't even put much thought into where victory lane is at. Just did everything he needed to do right to get to the checker flag.
You'd be afraid to think of that in advance.
That's right. Yeah, jinx you.
Yes.
But it's great. He's thumbs up, waving to the fans all the way around the racetrack.
Well, I think that Road America is a hit. You know, we've had a tradition of going to Daytona for years, but this place was worth it. And I can't wait to come back. Fans in this area love the fact that the Cup Series was here this weekend. Everyone came out to watch Chase Elliott get the job done. Great weekend for NASCAR.
Elkhart Lake, really a racing town, but a lot of the communities all the way around here, everywhere we were going, either out to dinner or wherever we were, we saw so many race fans with the race shirts celebrating the fact that the Cup Series was going to be here. And I think they got a great show today, and obviously from the champion, a great performance. And a week away from going back home. Atlanta is next weekend. Think about that, going back to Georgia and potentially getting the win there. Back-to-back wins possible for Chase Elliott.
Not only a big win for Chase Elliott, but the field continues to shake its head about Hendrick Motorsports' dominance this year. You had a day where Kyle Larson didn't have his best day. Well, guess what? Another Hendrick Motorsport driver stepped up.
15 wins in the last 34 races. Take a look at that.
Impressive winning percentage, and like you said, Jeff, you're even more dangerous because it's not just one, right? A week ago, Kyle Larson had a flat. Alex Bowman was there to win the race. This week, Chase Elliott. So, I mean, if you're trying to outrun that organization, I'm not sure going into each race which driver you're trying to outrun.
They've won half the races this year.
Yeah.
It's not given. You think about the number of teams on pit road, they've taken half of them. And on top of that, Alex Bowman did not get to finish, and Byron didn't get to finish, but they both ran well. All the cars ran well. All the Hendrick cars ran well. Any of them could have won.
I think it's just across the board with Chevrolet. You look at Kurt Busch and Chastain. That organization has been fast at the road courses, but they're improving everywhere. So all the Chevrolets are getting tougher and tougher as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. And this man right here, Chase Elliott, gets... Whoa, boy.
Oh! That was close.
He gets the win.
It's a narrow racetrack. You've got to remember that.
That's a good example of just how narrow it is. But he gets to do the donuts for the first time since 1956. The Cup Series was here. Drivers, that matters to drivers. When you come back and do something, you want to be the first. You want to be the first to do it. Chase puts his name in the record books.
He's having trouble getting out. The radio wire still hooked up.
And he wants to come out and celebrate with the fans that are here at the start-finish line and those that are on pit road. He climbs back into the car. He's going to drive back around to turn 5. That's where we'll be able to chat with him. But definitely, the fans love this champion. He gets the win at Road America. He celebrates all the way around the racetrack with every fan that's here. This team has to be excited about what they've got in defending this championship. Second win already of 2021. And we will hear from the reigning champion and now the winner of Road America when we return. Chase Elliott makes his way back to turn 5 with the checkered flag in hand, and now celebrates with all the fans here. Again, we'll be with you until 6 o'clock here on NBC, and then from 6 to 6:30 on NBCSN. And Marty is down there to chat with the Road America winner.
I love how he soaked all of this in, every moment, going around every inch of this racetrack. Little burnout of the start-finish line. Then down here to the Turn 5 fans who have stayed here to watch Chase and cheer him on in this victory. What an incredible drive from 32nd to the win for Chase Elliott. I love that victory celebration. You wanted to see everybody here and thank him for a terrific day, Chase.
Absolutely. I wasn't going to miss anybody. I appreciate y'all coming out. Thank you for spending your 4th of July with us. I hope you enjoyed the show. It was, man, it was a hot day, but a lot of fun, man. Just really proud of our team for overcoming some adversity early and having to start in the back, having good pit stops, and had a really fast Napa Chevrolet. So just so proud. We've had a rough few weeks, so it feels really good. And yeah, I guess I was supposed to do a burnout right here, so I'm sorry. I missed the memo. I did a really cool one on the front stretch, though. But just a big thanks, everybody, for coming out. Again, happy 4th. Y'all have a safe weekend, and thanks for coming out.
Aren't you the same guy this morning who told me I have a lot to figure out about this racetrack? How did you figure it out so quickly?
Yeah, I just never felt like I got in a real good rhythm all of yesterday. So for whatever reason there, after about halfway through the race, I started finding some of that rhythm and was able to put it together and piece different parts of the track. And then finally I felt like I was able to piece most of it together. So just, yeah, stayed with it and glad it worked out.
Talk about the challenge of this day, the heat and a new racetrack for everyone. There was a lot to figure out, even for guys like you who are so good at road courses.
Yeah, it's just this track has a lot of character to it, and it's so long. You know, you have a lot of opportunity to make mistakes or be good whenever you hit it. So, you know, just I mean, 4 miles is a long course, and just has a lot of character to it, a lot of bumps, a lot of sections that are really tricky to get through. And then conserving your tire was actually a little bit of a thing today, which, to be honest, we don't have much of that, I feel like, anymore. So it was a little different race, but like I said, proud of our group. Most importantly, thanks everybody for coming out. Thanks to our partners. Everybody back at Hendrick Motorsports been doing a phenomenal job. Bodies, chassis, engines, fab shops. It's just been incredible. So looking forward to more.
You hear what they're chanting behind us, Chase? Burnout. Well, you got enough tire for one? And they're cheering.
I'll give y'all everything I got. I'm about out of tire though, so I'll blow the tires off of it. Why not? Let's do it.
All right, there you go. We're going to watch the burnout. He gets to go home to Atlanta next week. But listen to the Turn 5 fans. They're just excited for the burnout, and they kind of goaded him into it, Rick. They wanted a burnout. They got the chant going. That's what happens when the crowd gets involved. We'll see how Chase does. And if you guys want in Turn 5, you can rate him. Why not?
Probably a good reason why Chase Elliott is the fan favorite and has been voted that year after year. Because of, you know, the fans love him. He's going to respond. He said, you know what, I'll give you whatever I got.
And I loved what he had to say. He goes, I drove around the entire lap because I didn't want to miss a single fan. They came out and spent their 4th of July with us here in the NASCAR race, and I wanted to celebrate with them.
As he takes the checkered flag inside the car with him, we look at this checkered flag moment brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. The win for Chase Elliott. He did a burnout on the start-finish line for those fans that were on the front stretch, and he's going to do a burnout for the Turn 5 fans. He gave it all. The right rear's gone, now the left rear's gone. He's going to need a push back to the garage.
That's awesome. The fans cheered. Chase delivered. Peer pressure.
He's riding on the rims.
Now they got to come get him.
They got to come get him.
I think victory lane's going to be delayed, Rick.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon.
He's going to need some help, but that's great. You know, the fans, they were chanting. They wanted to see it. All right, 20 races into the season as we look at the playoff standings. Now with 2 wins for Chase Elliott, currently 4th on that list. If you look at the playoff points that they have accumulated, Kyle Larson with 32, still only 11 different winners, 5 spots open. Kyle Larson with a pretty good points day. He's battling now for that season or regular season championship. Denny currently leading by 3 points in the regular season championship. And there's extra points that are on the line there for winning that as well.
There are, but Jeff pointed out earlier in the show, and I think it's worth noting, Kurt Busch just a few weeks ago, must win, can't do it on points, comes away with another top 5 in the 4th position. And look, now he's found himself 25 points above, Jeff.
Yeah, and also in there, Austin Dillon didn't call his name, I don't think, all day today. But that's what he needed to do. He's been working hard on his road course skill. He actually gained a few points today. He didn't lose any. And last year, he would have lost points in a road course. This year, he kind of broke even, gained just a touch.
And a driver who comes out of here with the most points, Tyler Reddick. You see him right there in 11th place, or in 15th place, I'm sorry, in the points. Pretty critical day for him. He came through. Ross Chastain as well had a lot of points today, trying to get himself into that playoff position.
Lowrider for Chase Elliott. Stay with us until 6 o'clock here on NBC as they're going to push the 9 all the way back to victory lane. He burned the tires off. He told the fans he would do it. He'll give them all he's got, and he did just that. Much more drivers to chat with. Stay with us. We'll be next, except on the West Coast, and then Macy's 4th of July Fireworks Spectacular at 7 o'clock right here on NBC. As you see the 9 car creeping its way around the track, trying to get back to victory lane. And a great second place finish for Christopher Bell. Parker?
Christopher Bell finished his second here, trying to chase down Chase Elliott there late. You were actually faster than those last couple laps. It just looked like he had too big a lead there.
Yeah, just kind of buried ourselves there whenever we had that pit road penalty. But, man, it was a lot of fun. You know, our SiriusXM Camry was really good, and really proud of this 20 group. It's been a trying last 2 months, but we feel like we're getting back on track here. So there's no reason why we can't be running up front every week.
And I was going to mention that this is your first top 5 since April. How does that mean to this team to go out there and have a solid run, execute, and get the finish?
Yeah, it's been good. You know, last week at Pocono, we had a car capable of finishing in the top 5, and it didn't happen. So besides that, Nashville, we were okay. And aside from that, we're, you know, I don't know. We just haven't been very fast. But here recently, the last couple of weeks, I've been really proud of the progress we made, and just proud to drive for everybody on this 20 group at Joe Gibbs Racing. And yeah, I'm excited for the future. I know there's more to come. Like I said, there's no reason why we can't run up front every week.
All right, before the race, though, before I let you go, you told me you had to keep this car pretty clean. How do we rate this one without the right front damage up there?
Let's look at the cars behind me here. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. It's
solid.
Not 100%, but pretty clean.
That's a clean one and a second place finish for Christopher Bell.
And anytime you have a smile on your face at the end of a race, you've got to feel pretty good about it. A second place finish for Christopher Bell as we see the 9 still creeping around. But take a look at Chase Elliott's day. Remember, it started off in qualifying when he didn't have a good qualifying run because of the situation with the cautions coming out, so he had to start in the back.
Yeah, he didn't ever get a qualifying lap in, started in the back. It was clear early that he had a good car. We weren't sure how good, but he could pass and work his way up through traffic, doing a nice job of talking about keeping the car clean. No dents on the 9 car.
One of the things that I saw about Chase is how well he took care of his tires, took care of the car, stayed pretty much off the curbs, looked the smoothest out of all the drivers out there. He saw other drivers run really fast early in the runs, but Chase always came on at the end.
This has to feel good for Chase Elliott. Lost with all those wins. Alex Bowman has more wins than he does now. He's starting to rack them up as well. Defending champion. You want to be the biggest winner at your company for sure.
So now 2 wins in the 2021 season for Chase Elliott. And when you think about Chase Elliott and Hendrick Motorsports really on a roll right now. So much success. But Chase Elliott has separated himself from the field as far as a road course racer. Now he's 3rd all time as far as wins on road courses, behind Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart.
Yeah, no doubt. And we have Indianapolis and we have Watkins Glen still coming in the summer, so there's available wins there. We're going to see the Roval deep into the playoffs. I think for Chase Elliott, there's zero question of what he can do do with the road courses. What we're looking for the 9 team now is, can this be kind of a launching point or a jumping board to improve some of his oval track speed? The 5's been good, the 48's been good, the 9 hasn't been bad, but the playoffs only have one road course in it. So he needs to try to find some of this magic, and it is magic on the road courses for the ovals. But right now, enjoy it, celebrate it, know you have 2 more coming this summer.
Drivers, how do you get so good at one discipline? Right now we're seeing Chase Elliott dominating on the road courses.
I wish I knew. I mean, you know, it didn't come natural to me. And I think road course racing is something you have a feel for it, or you have to learn how to do it. And those guys that have a natural feel for it, it feels normal, and they work to get better, those are the ones that are the best. So, you know, Chase Elliott has proven, you know, he's the quickest guy to get to 7 wins on a road course. He's 25 years old, a long history, a long career ahead of him, a lot of wins coming.
I think you got to credit Alan Gustafson and that team, too, for giving him a car, because you know, Jeff, as well as I do, that you don't know what you need right around a road course until you've drove a car that does all the things that you need it to do. Then you know oh, this is what I should expect out of a car. I didn't know the car was capable of this or that and the other. And so them giving him the car to compete and him learning how to take that car and do the job with it is pretty impressive all across the board for that whole team. But, I mean, Chase is just an incredible talent, and he adapts to anything, any type of racing, and we see him going outside of Cup racing to try to learn more about how to be a better overall racer, dirt, no matter what it is.
And on top of that, just always the same temperament. I think emotionally, he's just prepared for the bad moments, the great moments. He's always the same guy. I think that serves him well.
That temperament was tested with that qualifying issue today. I mean, look right there. Jeff Gordon with 9, Tony with 8. You mentioned it. 3rd on, I mean, he could be first or tied for first, but heck, all the way to first. Yeah, by the end of this year. And then heading to Atlanta. I mean, heading home, you talk about having just some momentum heading home. He lives down in Dawsonville. So he'll see if he can join his dad as the only Georgia-born driver to win at Atlanta. Now, his dad did it 5 times, so Chase wants to win 5 because he have to win the first, but I wouldn't bet against him with the momentum off this race.
That's pretty amazing that Awesome Bill is the only Georgia-born driver to win at Atlanta, where he won 5 times there. So we'll see if Chase can keep that momentum up, and his dad was spotting for him here, by the way. So there's Awesome Bill. But we're looking forward to next week from Atlanta, the Xfinity Series on Saturday, and then the Cup Series on Sunday. Again, 3 o'clock and 3:30 for the start times there. That'll be on NBCSN.
Chase mentioned tire management today. You better keep that in the back of his mind. It'll be tire management next week at Atlanta.
A rough racetrack at Atlanta. It's old, weathered, and you do have to manage those tires. Well, he managed the competition here. Chase Elliott, what a day. More post-race coverage coming up on NBCSN. Coming up next on NBC, it's your local news except on the West Coast. Chase Elliott, after a 65-year hiatus for the Cup Series at Road America, he is holding the check. Coverage continues here on NBCSN as we see the tow truck actually pushing the 9 of Chase Elliott, trying to get him back to victory lane here. That's on the front stretch. That's where he did his first burnout. His second burnout tore up the tires, and so now he's getting pushed all the way there.
Hey, he's trying to challenge Elio Castroneves for the longest celebration before you get to victory lane. He had it at the Indy 500, but I give Chase credit. He won the race. He went around all 4 miles to see the fans. A burnout on the front stretch. You could tell he didn't want to do another one. He knew it was going to be a long pushback. The fans cheered. Why? I mean, that's why you're the most popular driver. You deliver.
NASCAR America Post-Race Show presented by Progressive. It's been an eventful day for Chase Elliott. It started with qualifying when he went out twice, was on qualifying laps twice when the caution came out on both of those, so he ended up having to start back in the 30s for this one. As we look at the playoff standings after 20 races, only 6 races remaining in the regular season. 6 more opportunities for some driver to join maybe those in the yellow that are locked into the playoffs or earn some valuable points like we saw from Tyler Reddick today. Kurt Busch having great days. Austin Dillon as well, adding to their point totals, getting them above that cut line. Marty.
Rick, I was looking for Alan Gustafson. Couldn't find him. Why? Because he's on pit road. Why, Steve? he's got to change the tire before he can get to victory lane. And I think they meant to push Chase onto pit road. Instead, he is sitting there on the front stretch. So Allen's going to jump in and change a tire. There's other guys here to help as well, but part of the team here in victory lane, part of the team on pit road to go change a tire or two to get him into victory lane.
Hey, I'd happily wait with a smile. You see the smiles on the team. They could take their time changing this one because they didn't take their time on pit road all day long. The 9, remember, they won the pit crew competition at the All-Star race, the green flag pit stop. They're ranked by our stats team as probably the strongest pit crew on pit road in all the different metrics, and they continued today. I don't think they did anything spectacular, like it wasn't a magic moment, but there wasn't a negative either. And Chase as well, drivers. We saw drivers make mistakes getting on and off pit road. He didn't, right? He didn't go through too many pit boxes. Really, the biggest mistake he's made is missing pit road right here trying to get to victory lane.
This is comical.
Listen, you know, the team's laughing, enjoying it, but if this was to pick him up after running 30th?
This is an Austin Power moment right here. Trying to turn this thing around on this front straightaway.
Is this a 7-point turn that he's working on here? 8-point turn?
Look, man, he's just at this point, Chase is better than me. I probably would have just jumped the Jersey barrier and went to victory lane.
Yeah. I think his guys have said, you know what, let's give him some tires. They're going down there. They're going to go to him as far as him coming to his team. He's like, guys, come help me out. Well, I'm sure they're wanting to celebrate with their driver first, but a lot of business.
Only thing left, Steve, is a fence climb, right? With Elio Castroneves at Indianapolis.
That's it.
There's a fence right there. Go for it.
While they're doing the tire change, you saw the NASCAR official there making sure that the lug nuts issue.
Oh, yeah.
So they check that first. While they're changing tires, let's go to Dave Burns.
What a weekend for Kyle Busch. I don't know that anybody passed more cars yesterday and today than Kyle. How did you get to this spot, 3rd from 40th, Kyle?
I don't know. Just kept working at it, kept trying to do what I thought we needed for adjustments there. Just did not have the tire life that the 9 did. I mean, just incredible that they could continue to just drive away from us. You know, his braking was really good, but then the drive off out of the corners was just awesome. So they outbeat us by far today. But, you know, proud of the Skittles bunch. Everybody here on the Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota Camrys did a good job. I mean, we all ran up front. We had good speed. We showed that we're close. That's all we had for what the 9 seems like impossible. But overall, just good day, fighting through traffic, and really uneventful because we kind of jumped the stages, you know, so that kind of gave us that track position there towards the end. And we didn't get very many points, obviously, today with doing that. But, you know, feel like we're in a good spot, hopefully, and we'll go get them next week.
Kyle, how physical was it today? Pretty hot out here.
Yeah, I mean, these things are a lifesaver. Now that these things work, you know, years ago, you'd have cool shirts and they'd go out, they'd light on fire, they'd burn down in a race car, they'd burn you. And nowadays, they work really good and keep you pretty cool. So I feel fine. I'm all good. And, yeah, just get rehydrated during the week. Thanks, Rowdy Energy, Interstate Batteries, Ream, Stanley, everybody. Appreciate you guys, Sport Clips. And like I said, we'll try to figure out at the next road course what we can do to be better.
Last thing, 65 years since the Cup Series has been here. And with yesterday in mind, too, how do you think Road America's treated you? A win yesterday after starting in the rear and after a little trouble, and then from the back today?
I mean, it could have been nicer. I didn't have to wreck my primary car. I don't know. Just, yeah, I mean, it's fun up here. I've enjoyed coming up to Wisconsin for years. I've run super late models up here, whether it's been at Slinger, Kaukauna, Madison, Milwaukee Mile, you know, a bunch of places. So hadn't done that in a little while, but familiar with the area at least, and a few of the other late model guys that run around here, and seen a couple of them here this weekend. So, you know, just this is a good track, just narrow. You know, it's a little narrow. It's a lot slick. And, you know, hopefully put on a good show. I mean, I know it kind of probably stretched out there at the end, but, you know, it's a part of what you're going to get sometimes with long green flag runs.
It was a good show from Kyle Busch today and all weekend here at Road America.
Denny Hamlin gets a top 5. And, Denny, I'm not sure where to start. Maybe we should start with the fact that you were just doing jumping jacks after this long, arduous race. You want to prove how fit you really are.
How fit is a very loose term when it comes to me, but no, it's
I was sitting down on the wall, and you asked, hey, you want me to sit down? I was like, no, we can't be showing weakness. So, no, it's this is a hot one. I'm usually not really bothered by, heat or anything like that. But today was definitely, a hot one. But, proud of the whole FedEx Camry team for giving me a great car, top 5 car. And I just made two mistakes there on that last run and hung the left rear off when we got around Larson, just caused mayhem. But it was like, still a solid day. I just got to continue to get just a little bit better.
Talk to me about that last run, because you had battles. You got the left rear gone. It looked like the brakes maybe went away. It was so hard to get in the braking zones. Talk about managing just that long last run here at this place, Road America.
Yeah, I mean, this was the longest run we had is at the very end. So you had to have it all together. I had no left rear tire left. So, yeah, it was all I had.
And did you had a couple of events there as well, little contact at places. Do you feel like that was just a product of the racing here?
Yeah, the 48, I think, got in the back of the 5, and we dominoed into them. So,
well, a solid day for Denny Hamlin, the 11 team, getting top 5.
So another top 5 for Denny Hamlin. Finishes in that 5th position. What a great victory lane. It's actually new. It used to be over on the other side of the racetrack.
I mean, look at the crowd.
Fans able to celebrate over there with Chase Elliott. And a lot of Chase Elliott fans are there to enjoy this celebration. He did make it over there. It took a little bit of work to get there. NASCAR America is brought to you by Progressive. Stay on track with great rates at progressive.com. The Tampa Bay Lightning will look to hoist their 2nd straight Stanley Cup tomorrow night. Game 4, Lightning Canadiens, and Tampa leads 3-0. So that coverage beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern on NBC. Take a look at this week's Progressive Safe Driver, Chase Elliott. Again, we talked about him having to start so far in the back because of not really a qualifying lap.
Yeah, and he's making it look simple right there with those passes, but we saw how much contact can be made. A lot of other people had issues. Even his pass of Kyle Busch was completely clean. I mean, the only damage he had, Jeff, was for the fans. And if you're going to damage one for the fans, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I went around the racetrack. Jeff Gordon coming to victory lane to say good job, man.
The new number 2 at Hendrick Motorsports. Oh, and awesome Bill.
Dad's there.
What's the deal, Dad? Got an entry?
He was probably spotted somewhere, I imagine.
Yep. The hat dance continues for Chase Elliott, and a lot of fans are able to enjoy it. Jack, how's victory lane look from your perspective?
Well, above victory lane, there is still a massive crowd that is hung out here, and this is how you should spend a 4th of July. Over 100,000 fans that love racing, love this holiday, and the crowd just went berserk as soon as Jeff Gordon was the first one to walk up there to Chase Elliott. They got the full show as he backed it up, put it in reverse again, started again. So they were waiting impatiently, and finally that moment with Jeff Gordon was what brought it home. His 2nd win. Chase Elliott just dominates these tracks with America in the title, Rick.
Good point. Circuit of the Americas, and now Road America for Chase Elliott. His 2nd win comes on a road course. Another good finish for Kurt Busch. He finishes in 4th, Dave.
So for Kurt Busch, yet another strong run at this point in the season when I think it matters most to get you to the playoffs. 4th place today, Kurt. What was it like for you out there?
It was fun. I really enjoyed Road America and just the whole challenge of running here, posting good laps early with fresh tires, and then managing the tires on the long run. I knew our strategy was to go for stage points, which, man, I was going to have to work hard today, and I gave it everything I could. So I think we got a lot of points with the Monster Energy Chevy, and just really proud of our group to come here. I worked through the simulator work and worked through everything we could, and I put 1 tire wrong today, gave up 1 point to Larson in stage 2, but really enjoyed coming up here, and the Wisconsin people were great. Tons of old school gear that I saw from racing back in my Penske days, and the fans here were just ecstatic that the Cup Series was here. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, they were everywhere. Now, how gassed are you compared to some of the hot races you've done in the past? How hot was it today?
It was hot. I mean, once you get heat soaked and you're going and you're in the groove, things go away. And as soon as you stop, you're like, ugh. But, you know, at 42, I got to keep pushing hard, getting a little older, but I love it. I'm having fun, and we'll keep pushing.
Right, Kurt Busch on his way to the playoffs. If things keep going this way, another strong run today.
Tyler Reddick in the 8 car finishes 8th, but you won a stage. You're 4th in the first stage, but you're disappointed. Why is that?
Well, Parker, it's just some of the things that I knew that I needed to work on to be better to close the deal in more of these races, and that's just running cleaner races. And today just ended up being restarts. Just trying to make the wrong move in the wrong places and just lost a lot of spots and then really burned our stuff up trying to get our Kalahari Resorts Conventions Chevrolet back up there. But really happy with the speed we had. But, I mean, it truly was a bummer to not really contend for it. But, we went for stage points, as you said. Some of those guys we were racing around didn't deploy that strategy. So it's going to be hard to close that gap anyways. But top 10 and getting stage points is a great day. But, yeah, it still wasn't a clean race. But we got a top 10 out of it. But definitely want to keep working on trying to get closer to running that perfect race.
Talk to me about the difference between being up front and maybe running the top 5 versus being shoved back in the pack as you were to start stage 3 back in the teens. Is it an entirely different type of racing back there here?
Absolutely. Clean air means many things, and at Road America it means, you wear the tires out more in a number of ways. Just getting the car slowed down, you're using the brakes and the tires more, and your engine, everything just getting hotter and hotter. So for us, that really sent our car in a different direction than how it was the first half of the race. We had track position, so it kind of made it difficult to manage and made it easy to make mistakes there, and that's what kept setting us back there at the end of the race.
And how important were those points to you guys fighting to be in these playoffs here as we come down to just the final few races? That had to be really important to get those stage wins.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I'm looking, at this little board you got behind you, and it says we are plus 75. So getting a good amount of points there, which is really nice. Closing in on my teammate Austin, and hopefully we can get in within range of Kevin Harvick there at the very end of it. But it's good that both RCR cars are within the cutoff line. We've been going the right direction all year long, and this weekend was another step up, and hopefully we can just keep this momentum rolling, and hopefully we don't find our peak for a while.
Solid points today for Tyler Reddick and this 8 team.
Great. So a 10th place finish for Matt DiBenedetto, who ran out front today. And you told me earlier today that things were okay and better since Sonoma. You guys have worked on some stuff, right?
Yeah, we have, man. It was good to lead laps, be fast, not have bad circumstances. Really badly wanted to get a good run, for Menards and Dutch Boy. And glad I was able to take Taylor, my wife, for her first trip through Menards this weekend, by the way, in Wisconsin. But, no, man, I really feel like our team is clicking. Jonathan Hassler is doing an excellent job. I'm really pumped about the rest of the season.
So from earlier in the race, where did the car kind of go awry for you?
It was pretty evident we were a short run car. We could haul the mail for a little bit in the short run, and just couldn't have the rear grip we needed in the long run. This place is so worn out. It's so fun. Loved this place. Glad we got a good qualifying effort. We're up front all day. I mean, team did a great job, but she was slick, man. Just couldn't go after, in the longer run.
Strong day for Matt. They got half the problem solved at Road America.
Ross Chastain came into today very confident about the speed that you'd have, the run. You showed it at COTA. Did you back it up with 7th place finish?
I did, Parker. We passed a lot of cars today, so that was really cool for Advent Health Chevy. After this week, I can't thank enough about the boys and girls at CGR for bringing 2 cars that we honestly probably underperformed at, I think, 4th and 7th. And for our partners at Advent Health, Clover, McDonald's, and the Moose to come here, I think it puts some ease into everybody that we're still going to come. We're still going to swing for wins. Chip likes winners. We're still racing for Chip Ganassi, and I'm getting to live my dream here. So, yes, we backed up COTA for sure.
Talk to me about that long run pace you guys had. It was very evident you and your teammate Kurt Busch had incredible long run pace. Where did that come from? Was it you guys treating the cars well, or you felt like that was built in the setup?
The boys and girls at CGR give us incredible brakes. Our CGR chassis they're recoverable, and they're forgiving. So if I overshoot a corner, I can still make the corner. And then our Hendrick ECR engines were incredible today. They have been all year, but we're just continuing to push and bring slippery cars down the straightaway with grip in the corner. So I'm going to be honest, it felt like we were going so slow at the ends of those runs. So I think everybody else just got way slower. We just lost less time.
Makes sense, and pretty physical day, right?
I'm hot. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like I've prepared, and I got hot in the car. So I gave a spot to Briscoe there at the end just because I was impulse braking and having trouble pulling the shifter. Like, I've got to do some recovery this week out of Atlanta.
Long, arduous day for Ross Chastain. Ends up with a 7th place finish.
A hot day here in Wisconsin. The drivers all talking about it. The guy that was the best, obviously, Chase Elliott. We gave him the headset, which means it's time to chat with the race winner. When we come back, we'll talk to the driver, the number 9. NASCAR America is brought to you by Progressive. Stay on track with great rates at progressive.com. What a role Hendrick Motorsports has been on. 7 of the last 8 races they have won, and you look at the progression from 2012 all the way through 2021, the number of wins per season.
Yeah, and there was a dip there, 16, 17, 18, even 19, 3 or 4 wins. That would be great for most organizations, but for Hendrick Motorsports, that was a low point, but they have rallied back with 10 wins already this season.
And 2 of those 10 wins came at the hands of the driver, the number 9. We welcome in Chase Elliott. Congratulations, Chase. You win at Road America, a racetrack where the last Cup driver to win here was Tim Flock back in 1956. So a great win here. And you've really become, I guess, an aficionado of these road courses. How has that happened that you've been so good and so efficient here?
Yeah, it's a great question. I wish I had a really good answer for you, but first off, I do want to apologize. I was tardy to the victory lane situation here, and it was very serious peer pressure by our fans up here in Wisconsin here at Road America. And Marty can attest to this. I was getting yelled at to do a burnout over there, so I wasn't going to tell them no. But just first off, I want to say thanks to everybody on our team, the 9 team, everybody at Hendrick Motorsports. To your point, it's been a really good run on the team side, chassis, bodies, engine shop. Chevrolet, Napa today. We have a lot of great partners, and we appreciate them all. So just a really nice day. We've had a rough few weeks, so it's been good to just get in a rhythm today. I felt like when the day started, I wasn't really in a rhythm, yesterday. And then today, about halfway through the race, I felt like I started piecing together some corners that I just hadn't really hit all weekend. So, and then things started flowing and feeling good, and that's a big piece of road racing, and it became fun then, which is also good. So it was great, a great way to celebrate 4th of July. I hope everybody out there is having a good one and a safe weekend too.
Chase, first, congratulations. But second, you've mentioned this rhythm a couple times. 4 miles, 14 corners. It's the first time I've ever been up here. The place is massive. When you talk about rhythm and the places you had to get used to, was it one area of the racetrack? Was it like 5 through Carousel, or was it really just a variety of corners this place has for the drivers?
It was kind of a variety of corners, and it was really kind of corners that mirrored one another. One might be early in the circuit, and one might be late. And then I would go through a period of time where I would adjust those, and I would mess up something else. And it took till about, I felt like halfway through the race or so that I started to piece together both a little bit. Not that I ever got it perfect, but just started feeling better about it and started to get a little flow to it, and then it was fun.
So, Chase, we heard a lot of drivers talking about having to save tires early in the run. Is that something you end up having to do?
Yeah, and I was really surprised by that. I mean, nowadays that's really not much of a thing. At most places we go, but yeah, the rear, well, the fronts too, really. I mean, I felt like you had to kind of keep both ends on it and really put some effort into that to have anything left at the end. I felt like I thought I did a better job the second to last run than I did on the last run, and I was trying a little harder on that last one. I just figured there'd be a caution or something, and we were have to stay out and have to do a restart. So I was trying to save more than I did the run before, and ended up being kind of about the same. So it was a tough balance, hard to make pace and be smooth and not slide them around. That was definitely a price to be paid there.
Chase Dale Jr., I know you want to celebrate this moment, but I got to ask you about next week. We're going to your home track, home state, Atlanta. Yeah. How important is it for you to go there and have a great run, get a win?
Yeah, I love going to Atlanta. I love racing at home. I would love nothing more than to have a really good run at home. I mean, that's one thing I think everybody wants to do good in front of their home crowd. Atlanta's been special to me. I raced Legends and Bandoleros. They're on the front stretch for years, and haven't really done anything spectacular on the NASCAR front, really, in any series there. So hopefully this weekend's a little different. We can get going. To your point, it's going to be good to spend the week at home. Excited about tomorrow. My mom's got some 4th of July festivities planned on the 5th, so she was more worried about this 4th of July party than she was the race today. So I've got to make sure I get home tonight and get ready to see some family.
Well, we appreciate you spending some time with us. Congratulations, reigning champion, on winning here at Road America, and have a safe 5th of July.
Cool. Yeah, thank you, guys, and enjoy your weekend. Appreciate all the fans, man. Here, a lot of people here, but watching on TV, too. Hope you enjoyed it. And thanks to the state of Wisconsin for welcoming us with open arms. You guys are some serious race fans, and I love it.
Yeah, record crowd here in Wisconsin. Over 100,000 fans here to enjoy this race at Road America. And they're sticking around still to see Chase. Next weekend, NASCAR Cup Series continuing from Chase Elliott's home state and Atlanta Motor Speedway. That race coverage begins at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on NBCSN. Again, Ryan Blaney won earlier in the year at Atlanta. So now after 20 races, you take a look at the playoff standings and the points. And guys, Chase Elliott looking strong here, 11 playoff points.
Pretty tight right there from 14th all the way back to 22nd, really. I think a lot of those guys still got to feel like they've got a shot at it.
Yeah, and Austin Dillon, Tyler Reddick, Kurt Busch. This is a battle. I mean, Chris Buescher, all these guys trying to make the playoffs. You cannot let up. You're going to have to execute.
And make sure to join us next weekend on NBCSN again for NASCAR racing from Atlanta. Xfinity Series on Saturday, and again the Cup Series on Sunday. It had been almost 7 decades since the Cup Series had graced the 4-mile Road America, very difficult road course, and some of them found it a little harder than others, off-road and on-road. But it was Chase Elliott who was able to grab the victory, his second road course win of 2021, and he celebrated with the fans big time here on this 4th of July.